Hey, we're live. We are live. It is working. Yay. I'm not on the new computer yet. I'm still on the old one because I'm transferring assets. But we are live for the Rum and Coke night tonight. Got a lot of things on our plate. And we got a lot of special guests with us tonight, but they can introduce themselves in a few seconds here. But first things first, priorities, people, priorities. A very generous friend of mine from Facebook had gotten me this, which is Johnnie Walker Black, which is, I've already cracked open. I had some last night. He said I could. Neat, by the way. It is excellent. It is something that I've never had before. It's the type of scotch that it doesn't leave a nasty taste in your mouth. This one's smooth. It has an oak flavor. So I'm going to be pouring a finger of that because that's probably all I'm going to have. I have something else tonight, which is some candy that I got. Just regular, normal candy. YouTube is just candy that I'm eating later. That should be pretty good.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly normal candy. So I got a glass for this, a tumbler glass, like a regular tumbler glass. So not even a green cup. Just I'm going high tech here. But anyways, welcome to Rum and Coke night. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna get drunk, talk about science, talk about philosophy, talk about news that's been going on for the week. We got Landon in here, and he's got, I believe, some Chardonnay.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone and latitude, from your friendly secular astronomer. And I am starting off with a Costa Brown 2017 116 Chardonnay, a 5-star bottle. This stuff is amazing. It's got really great notes of apple and pear with a nice hint of butter to it. Look at this nice golden color.
That looks gorgeous.
For Rum and Coke, and that's stage one. As I move on, we'll introduce other stages.
Well, we got Uni Rock in here. We're going to be talking about some flat Earth stuff. So when we do that, then move on to the harder stuff. You'll need
Excellent. Yeah.
I think that's the signal.
Yeah. We got Cheshire in here, who's all dolled up. Look at, she actually is all girly sometimes.
Ah.
I listen. I just had a little bit of zits on my face, so I needed to handle it. I'm not wearing any eyeshadow or anything. This is just, I put on a little bit of lip liner. I've also got this. I'm having a wine night. It's like just a cheap $10 bottle of wine.
That's a decent one.
I have a fancy glass.
I think glass makes a difference. I think that's. I mean, for example, like I said, I usually drink out of my green plastic cups, right?
It is a crystal
I'm having
glass.
Actual Scotch neat in a tumbler for a change.
I brought Red Bull.
Right? Oh, there you go.
Red, you do realize that
Red Bull? I don't think you should apologize for that wine. Actually, it's
that's good.
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's not
a Cabernet Sauvignon 2017 from Chile, and it's actually a pretty nice wine. I'm drinking the same thing.
Oh, yeah, there. So that's a Canadian thing. They're united.
We just happened to get the same one. It was on sale today.
It was on sale, so I guess that's probably what did it.
I myself am drinking a 2019 vintage Diet Barks root beer, and
hey, dude, slow down, man. Don't. You got to pace yourself with that stuff.
It has some undertones of root beer. So
got a sugary flavor to it, sweet.
Yeah.
Kind of sweet, yeah.
Ben, what do you got?
I have with me to start a nice finger or so of Angel's Envy rum.
Yeah, look at his finger. Look at my finger. I got skinny fingers because I drink so little.
This is a finished whiskey that they put into rum barrels, Caribbean rum barrels to finish it. It is the sweetest rye you will ever try.
I've heard great things about that. So.
Oh, it's so good. And then I also have in my flask, if things get a little too heavy, some cask strength Jefferson's at Sea.
And Rex,
so
what do you have?
That's the heavy stuff.
Rex has a little bit of everything. See this like bar in back of me? This is like Rex's pantry.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So what are you drinking, Rex?
Right now I'm drinking Keystone Ice.
Excellent choice.
Okay.
And unapologetically.
Oh, no. I don't apologize for anything.
Bud Light.
When has Clockwork ever apologized to anyone for anything?
And last but not least, you and I rock. What are you drinking? And again, Uni Rock, you and I rock. Whatever
works.
Whatever works. Are you live, by the way? Are we gonna do
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I may in a little bit. I figured I'd wait a little and then go live. But yeah, I have a nice Red Bull. I'm sober, so I.
Dude, you are hardcore, man. I don't know if we can we hang with him? I don't know. That's a little beyond our league.
You never
here.
know. Once I get going.
Steve,
so.
Hey, Steve, a message just popped up on the screen here on my computer that says remaining meeting time 9 minutes and 39 seconds.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna have to like probably exit and come back in because we're on a 40-minute. Although I didn't have this earlier, I had it for the Patreon hangout.
And yeah, it sits on like the host has generously extended the meeting time or something.
How do I do that?
I don't know. You did it last time.
Maybe that's just like a thing to prevent meetings from going overly long. Maybe there's a way.
No,
to
it's a free version, but we'll figure it out because what will happen is we'll just exit out. We'll just come back in. Okay.
Worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario, we will reassemble.
Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I want to go over a few things first because there's been some there's been some recent accusations, and I normally don't address any of this stuff. Matter of fact, going forward, people can say whatever about me. I don't give a shit, and I don't bother them. I don't talk about them. I don't care. But there's this one on Twitter that I thought was funny because they claiming now that I have stolen valor, that I didn't graduate nuke school because they never saw me in uniform. So I thought I'd break out some shit here. So first, let me show you guys something. This was my A school, my machinist mate A school nuclear division. This is me in uniform, that little handsome smooth-faced devil right there. Yes, that's
You
me.
goddamn seaman.
And that's not photoshopped.
No, not Photoshop. This is
How do you Photoshop that's
this also was my.
I actually think they're easing up on you because last year they said you didn't exist at all.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
getting better.
whoa, whoa.
This is the dark side. If you guys in nuke school, there's light side and the dark side, and then when you graduate, you when you graduate from the light side, you go to the dark side. You get to learn the confidential, classified shit. But wait, where's me? There we go. There we go. See, you're smiling right there. Look at that. Okay, and then I've got some yearbooks here. Look at this was the last one we had. This was USS Struction, 1993. This is not CGI. This was M1 Division, which is a nuclear division, if you know anything about the Navy.
Yeah.
M1. And then there's me way down there at the bottom there. In uniform. I believe that says my name, doesn't it?
Allegedly.
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 I can't show you the crossing lines ceremony. This was my other West.
Hey, unapologetically atheist, your mic is at like bullhorn levels.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, you're loud.
Are you?
I'm on here.
Yeah, turn your shit down. Turn
Yeah,
your
we don't
shit
need gain.
down.
Gain is bad. Gain is
Steve,
involved
are you
in
criticizing
I
people
don't-
using alternative facts?
I'll just turn them off while I'm not talking.
There we go. This is me.
Oh.
Fucking
Look how young I was. I was a
You
baby.
didn't have bone spurs or something?
That was a nuclear M1 division. And then last but not least, I have this, which was my naval training unit. And then if you want to see a really young picture, oh my God. I have to probably find it because I haven't looked at this in ages. I just remember it's in here.
Somebody, while he's looking, somebody made a really good point today on the shills. And if you guys haven't checked out the shills, absolutely do. But somebody made a really good point today that said, oh, wow, they think that these photos of giant people's skulls are real, but no, Red's live video of the rocket launches, that's CGI.
That's CGI, yes.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. That's a good point. I didn't consider that.
You also have to think about how the sightings of Bigfoot, those have gone way down with the advent of these fancy little single devices with a megapixel cameras.
You mean like Jesus on toast?
That's just real. But of course they designed it right now.
Jesus on the fact there's a toaster that puts Jesus on your toast makes me happy.
The fact that there's a toaster that puts anime on your toast.
Bases and plateaus are tree trunks too.
Oh,
There's
it's my
nothing that
favorite.
belongs on my toast more than weeb shit.
Let's not forget that the pyramids are made from petrified giant's flesh. That was that was one.
And it has Wi-Fi.
Oh, wait.
Remember, the pyramids have Wi-Fi
on.
too.
What was the one that I had from Flat Earth Aussie Jesus? Whose birthday it was recently, as far as I recall. So happy birthday.
Let's see, what is this?
Can you read that?
Cheers.
What does that say? EPO?
I can tell that's you too.
That's me.
Even as old as you are
Yeah.
now, I can tell that's you.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody know what EPO stands for? Anybody know?
Environmental Protection Agency.
No.
Ensign.
Educational Petty Officer, because I had a perfect score on my ASVAB, so I didn't have to take any of the tests in the in boot camp. I had to administer them because I was the smartest person in a group.
This is
what
it.
happened? I don't know.
Flat Earth Aussie Jesus number 6.
Anyway,
His claim number 6.
All right,
The
so-
Earth is mostly made up made upon the petrified remains of giant trees and giant beings.
Nice. All right, so that is out of the way, and like I said, I'm moving on from Twitter trolls. Any one of them that comes after me, I'm just going to block outright. I'm not going to address. I don't give a fuck. It's just not worth my time. Oh, and I even got, like I said, people even said that I went out and bought my own medals. I'm like, look, this is a good conduct medal. This is the National Defense. This
good.
Is the,
no, wait. You had a
medal.
good conduct medal,
What?
Steve.
This
Are
is
you sure?
This is I don't even have ribbons too. I got ribbons more, but I have the Sea Service ribbon with 2 bronze. They're called bronze stars. They're little stars, not like a bronze star medal. But I've got more ribbons than this. These are just my medals.
So what are the medals again that you have?
Cool. This is national. Oh shit, those are sharp. This is National Defense.
Yeah.
This one. This is a good conduct medal, the red one.
But why isn't your name printed on
Yeah,
them?
they said, well, what's the name on the back? I'm like, there's no fucking names on these things, you dumbass.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Obama come to your house and confirm for me. I think.
I am convinced.
Okay, so
that
you have two. What are the other
people
what are the
that serve with me on my Facebook?
No,
what are the other 2 medals?
I think Landon is trying to point out the fact that you have a good contact medal.
Yeah, this one is this one's the Armed Services Expeditionary Medal. This one actually qualifies me for VFW status. This is actually This is actually a kind of a rare medal. This one's the Southeast Asian Medal. These two, the way ranking works is that you put the medals from highest to lowest. So this is the higher ranking medal. And then this is the lowest. The good conduct one of the lower medals. Go figure, right? But yeah, I didn't get busted. I didn't get discharged. I didn't wash out. Any of that bullshit. You know, you don't get if you wash out, you don't get a good conduct medal because basically they give you a reprimand. They say, okay, you suck, and you become part of the what's called what are they called, radioactive waste. So, anyways, enough with that bullshit. So. Let's move on to bigger, better things if we can. Have a little drink real quick because we got 2 minutes remaining.
Oh, hi, Steve.
I have to come back here. Hey,
does that sound okay now?
Yep. Can you hear me?
And if there's trolls in the live chat talking about other shit, just get rid of them. I'm not dealing with any of their bullshit. So have at it.
I'm convinced that the argument of, oh, well, we haven't seen his papers is fucking Obama birther people. It's the same argument. Oh, well, where's his birth certificate? Oh, here's the Lion King.
I actually like one of the conspiracies. I gotta admit, and I hate to say it, but the whole Michelle Obama being trans, I thought was pretty funny because I don't know if they're photoshopped or whatever. It's just bad angle, but some of them are like, holy crap, she does look a little masculine. I don't believe it, by the way, but I think if we're gonna go over the conspiracy theory, that one is at least
it's one of the funnier ones. For
sure.
It's
exactly.
It's very absurd, but I mean, the people who believe that also believe that half of Hollywood isn't what they appear to be.
That's what's funny about it.
That's what's called acting.
Absurd.
So I got news the other day that Patricia Steer, flat earther extraordinaire, I guess deleted her social media. No longer is on anything. I guess her videos
YouTube,
are down.
Everything.
So you and I rock. Tell me about that because I was trying to listen to the other day. I only caught the tail end of your program. What's happened? And by the way, I asked Mr. Cheswick if you guys know him. He makes these funny flat Earth videos. He's a flat earther, but we and him seem to get along. And Cheswick, I'm sorry. And Cheswick said, "I'm glad she's gone, but I don't know anything why she left either." So, what do you know about it?
Well, me and Team Skeptic did a stream last night and looked around, and we came to the conclusion that she was under a massive trolling campaign from like a pretty big one. Normally, you might have like 3 to 5 people that come in to troll someone and they get kicked, they come back in. She was getting hit from more channels than I could track. So still figuring it out. I'm trying to find her. I'm trying to get an email to her to see if she'll do an interview, but I don't know if she will with everything that's going on, but we're attempting.
Well, what do you think though? I mean, what obviously I don't think she changed her position, but I think I'm tending to think that she's a Poe. And she's just a conspiracy nut, and she just latched onto this because there's, money in.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
15 seconds.
Oh, will it kick us? You think?
Yeah, probably. Like I said,
okay.
We're just gonna come right back in if it does. Because I don't know why I was in the Patreon hangout for like 2 hours and it didn't do anything.
Zoom is really strange.
All right, and I'm back again. Now. The thing is, I don't know if it uses the same link. So That might be a problem. I'm going to get it to Cheshire here, and then she can get it out because I think it's a different link. So give me a second here, guys, and then we'll get them back in here. I have a little group of them that I can just email at once, kind of thing. So I will probably get a paid Zoom here, so I don't have this problem. But let me get this to Cheshire first, and then we can get them out. Okay, so I'm getting this out real quick. Yeah, everybody's messaging me got booted. Yes, I know you got booted.
Whee!
Yay! Can you help me get this link out?
Yeah.
All right. I know a lot of people in that one group that I just put it in. But
hopefully this is not a.
We're still live, but
anyway. So anyway, by the way, Steve, all kidding aside, thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you.
It is actually it really is appreciated. So thank you, Steve.
I wouldn't do it again, so don't appreciate it too much. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Nuke school was hard. Don't get me wrong, but I think when you're in the fleet, it's just a lot of BS, and you see a lot of stuff. You just go, why does the military do that? Well, it's just the military way. Don't ask.
But on the other hand, the safety record of your branch in the nuclear thing is extremely good, and civilians should take note of that when they're looking to hire people.
Yeah, thanks for your service. I'm in Canada. Thanks for being not on our side.
Hey, we are your military. Hate to break it to you. we have a pact with you guys that if somebody attacks you for whatever reason,
it is true. Yeah,
your video locked up, Steve.
I'm
just so you know.
Teasing.
Yeah, why would anybody want to attack Canada to begin with? Yeah.
Well, but on the other hand, Canada.
We do have a lot of resources.
Zone, right? That's.
We're basically kind of Sweden. Kind of a little bit Sweden, but I mean, to be fair, that's something the Canadian government is also doing recently. We just got a huge grant given towards our government to just upgrade everything. Ooh. So that way we're not behind by 30 years, which it's a start. I don't want to spend that much money on the military if we don't need to, and given the position that we're in, we kind of don't need to. I would rather put the money in education, but getting our military upgrade is definitely something that's at least worthwhile.
Yeah, and I agree. I even admit I'm all for spending on the military, but I got to admit even we spend too much, and I saw the waste. There's no question.
Yeah, it's the percentages.
We've got some good snipers. That's what we've got.
We're not even the best anymore. We got beat by some British guys.
Really?
Yeah, that was a little while ago. Yeah.
I want to add in though. To Steve really quick, to get the good conduct medal, you can't mess up in the military at all. You can't even be late.
Yeah, you have to. I told you I had 3.8 to 4.0 evals, right? So I got good conduct medals. I didn't get
just getting our equipment. You're just getting our equipment upgraded.
So that if they try to stir any stuff, back you up on that.
So I got.
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
So if I talk right now on you and we can actually cheers glasses because I show up on the side. Yeah. So I think we should do that real quick.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. You gotta go to the other side. And there we go.
I don't know who I'm next to.
I'll
cheers anyway.
Did we get you and I Rock back here?
Yeah.
All right. So continue where you left off. So tell us more about Patricia Steer, because I literally know nothing about why she just vanished. I mean, you have to have something that you can give us.
Yeah, I mean, really, it was just getting trolled so much. She had Antonio Subarat spreading some very mean rumors about her, and the rest of the flat earthers picked that up and took it to conspiracy land. So I'm not going to use anything graphic or anything, he said...
I know this.
Okay.
I'm not going to say what the rumor was, but I know what it was. Yeah.
That's what they, used against her lately. They were bringing that up again and hitting her from all sides. And I think that's what did it. I think that's the main thing that got her to delete all of her social media, honestly.
So she's okay she's okay with talking about flat earth and telling people the earth is flat, but and talk about other conspiracy theories, but when the conspiracy theories about her, we can't have that.
That's how it seems.
So she got trolled by her own side. Is what the chat's saying.
By Antonio Subarats, of all people. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he
Who
started
is,
it.
Who is that person?
Oh, you haven't. Oh, and Tuna. Okay. Long story short, Antonio Sugarats. Here's a guy. He's a flat earther, right? And
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to tell you the story about this, Chester, if you're not familiar with this. He commissioned somebody, a friend, to make a video for his channel, right? To make a little opener, right? Well, this friend decided to have a little fun with him, and I wish Reds was here. He knows this. Oh, he is here. Reds can give more detail, but I'll give my version, and Reds can kind of fill in the blanks.
I'm releasing that tomorrow, Steve. Ironically, it's in the video I'm putting up of me and Team Skeptic
so you know
tomorrow.
The story.
That's what I edited all day. But no, good. Just say it, please.
Okay.
Just ruin my entire video that I'm putting up tomorrow, please.
Wait, so his friend had him do all this kind of weird stuff to compile for the video, like he was like telling him like make motions like you're throwing stuff out of your mouth like this, right? And what he did was run it backwards so it looked like he's sucking a dick, right? And he changed it all this, and he made his video called "Sexy." Was it daytime, nighttime? Sexy.
Daytime, nighttime.
And it was just him doing all the most gayest stuff imaginable.
Hey,
it was
shit.
a freaking hilarious, and he was livid because he had no idea that his friend was going to take all this footage and make the gayest video of all time. Reds, I mean, is there more to it than that? You could probably add on. Daytime, nighttime, sexy.
Sexy.
I go down on men like chocolate cake.
Check your Twitter link. You're welcome.
Yeah, I've got it.
Can you put that on the live chat then so people can go check out that video if it's still around? One of the greatest videos of all time. How people don't know about this stuff? Oh, yeah, because we had a wiki that got taken down, but the wiki had all this information on it. But I have all the information on the wiki. It will be back up eventually on my domain. So.
Yeah, Team Skeptic brought that into my live stream last night, and we played the whole thing, and it was wonderful. It was really awesome.
You had not seen it before? Was that your first time?
I'd only seen parts of it, and I didn't know the full story. But yeah, I got it after the video, after I saw it, the full story.
Hey, just real quick, going back to the interaction a minute ago. Why do I have this impression that when Reds and Cheshire finally beat up, they're gonna fight first before anything happens? They're just gonna.
Have you never heard of hate fucking?
Yeah, first of all, why do you make it sound like a bad thing? You know, I'm like, this is like a problem here. If you were having sex with Chess, would you give a shit whether it was, hate fucking, good, bad, different? No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, you know what? I'm doing my thing. Leave me alone.
Well, right. I'm picturing the first episode of this season's Black Mirror. Basically,
I haven't watched it yet. No spoilers.
Yeah, no, I won't spoil it, but you'll see what I mean when you watch it.
Well, I can see that Chesh is still prayed up from our date from tonight, and she did break out the whip. I did not complain.
That's why she got dolled up. I knew there had to be a hidden agenda there.
I thought the Piggly Wiggly tails were appropriate. They're basically handlebars.
I mean, they were great handles, but when you broke out that whip, that's when it got interesting.
Right.
All right, I got to read some of these super chats real quick. Kawasa, nice hairdo. You changed from Gandalf to Geralt of Rivia.
My sister actually sent Steve a message that said, "Bring Gandalf back."
Yeah. I haven't finished Witcher 3 yet, no, but I want to. So I like Geralt of Rivia. But yeah, by the way,
I like to piss people off by calling him Geralt.
It's Geralt.
I know. I like to piss people off by calling him Geralt.
By the way, I associate Gerald with cancer tumors.
Why?
I mean, D, right? D Wayne, right?
I need to get back.
He named his tumors Gerald.
I need to get back to her sister because I'm not going to leave her hanging.
Okay.
Yeah, her sister is Jim. There we go. See, she can. Chess, you can hook up with Reds. I'll take out your sister. Works like Jim Hill, listening while I clean my store. Hey, everyone.
Like with a gun?
With a gun? What are you talking about?
He said, take out my sister.
I'm not going to kill her! God. I mean, I know you sibling rivalry and all everything, but you're looking for a hitman for your sister. I'm not him.
Listen, I don't do competition, all right? I take this shit serious.
Yeah. See how much she wants you, Red? She doesn't want her sister even involved, James Hogue, thank you for your service, Steve. You're welcome. Euros MC, too hungover to join you, Steve. Enjoy the scotch. Well, that's why you need to join, because you have a hangover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You can at least show us the bottle that you're.
Once again, Johnnie Walker Black, very smooth. This is gonna last me like forever. If I drink one finger at a time, I mean that's
Yeah.
That's a lot of scotch.
So let me know when we're on to stage 2 of the dumpster fire. So.
No, I don't think we've gotten there yet. I was hoping you and I rock. I don't know what the hell to call them anymore. Would have a little more detail on that for Flat Earth stuff.
Unix rock, yes.
UNE.
I hope so. I hope soon because I'm really interested. I kind of felt bad for her honestly once I saw all of it, like because of the amount, really.
So
I want to know why Jeranism hasn't deleted his channel since he proved the Earth round.
He's supposed to.
And Bob Globebusters, yeah, him too.
There's a couple of them.
They both said they would delete their channels.
It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, there's a couple people that said that. By the way,
yeah, you might be unapologetically atheist.
You need to get
apologize for your sound. That was bad.
You really need to get headphones. This is not going to work without it. Trust me.
I'm sorry. I guess I'll leave.
It's
cool. You guys take care.
All right, thanks.
You're basically a robot.
Yeah. Brian, thank you for your super chat. Yeah, so yeah, there's a couple of them that actually said that they were supposed to delete their channels given certain conditions, and I think those conditions have been more than met. So
Flat Earth Aussie Jesus is in the chat now. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Rob!
Happy birthday! Was supposed to delete their channel. The YouTuber Russian Vids was supposed to come down to Cape Canaveral, and he was supposed to see the Falcon Heavy land. Or at least its boosters land, because he thinks that those landable boosters are fake. So he said, well, I will go if you pick me up from the airport. I said I would pick him up from the airport, but it would be on a motorcycle and he would have to ride bitch.
But did he?
Well, he said he had a trustworthy person in Florida who was going to film the launch for him. And then based on that video, he would decide whether or not it was real or not. What he told me was that he couldn't see shit because it was dark out.
Excuses.
I think Reds wasn't here when we said what the shills said earlier today. The shills earlier today were like, oh my god, these people think that giant skulls are real, but Reds is faking his videos.
Oh, wow. Yeah. About that.
Who are the
shills? CGI shit in real time.
That's impressive.
The shills are like a group. Like it's hard to say who the shills are.
Well, I know it's not Aussie Globehead, but Aussie Globehead, thank you. 50 Australian, what a guy. Because I can. You know what? Because he can. I'm not going to bitch about it.
Hey, Steve.
Appreciate that, Aussie Globehead. We got maybe Aussie Globehead knows why Patricia steered.
Yeah, $50 reduce. That's something. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Aussie Globehead. I just wonder if he may know what's going on with Patricia Steer.
Hey, I was AFK for a second. I just want to ask, how can it be Aussie Jesus' birthday when the world's not a globe and it doesn't
go around?
It doesn't go around the sun.
So none of us were born. None of us have birthdays. There's no
his birthday. Leave the man alone.
So
unless he starts talking about curing cancer, then fuck him.
So unless it's 72 hours, I'm going to go into the alleged southern hemisphere, where I know that and so the question is going to be, am I going to fall off the Earth or?
I'm not convinced about any flat Earth argument until they can tell me what's on the other side.
It's turtles all the way down.
Right, but there's still an other side.
But Landon already called me from the South Pole on a Iridium sat phone. I have the recording on my channel in real time.
Fake
he called
news.
me from being there.
And I attempted to jump up and fall off the Earth, right? I several times. I did the experiment to make sure that gravity still worked.
He doesn't mess around. He's serious about this. He'll do the experiment like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, speaking of doing experiments, Flat Earth Aussie Jesus. I want you to know that even though Kyle has done some incredibly stupid shit as of late, you still got my vote for dumb fuck of the year. Just so you know.
I told Sean I was going to go with Antonio Superrat. So.
I don't.
Antonio
Do I get a vote?
No.
Yes. Everyone.
Well, have you heard of women's suffrage before?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, you can vote.
I have heard of women suffering.
Listen, Chess. From tonight, because you were so gentle. Yeah, you definitely get a vote.
Okay.
Well, then I know you guys haven't hooked up.
Now he's putting his male
Did you just call her
gentle,
Jeff?
please.
I'm gonna have to consider who I think dumb fuck of the year is.
Man, this scotch has the best.
That's tricky. I've seen a lot of dumb fucks this year. So
I don't know, because there's like, I kind of want to say messenger a little bit, because
messenger of God, that guy, or that prophet of God.
Well, the thing is like, he started talking, and I had a question for him, but there was other things going on, so I let the conversation go, and then I was like, I dropped my question because I'm like, wait, I think this guy thinks he has divine revelation, and I think he thinks he's a prophet. And so I was like, do you think you're a prophet? And instead of, because I was like expecting that to derail the conversation, so I let other people go with the biblical that they were talking about. So, but I was expecting to have a conversation about how, no, you actually think this. But he was like, yeah, no, I think I am. And I was like, oh, all right.
Don't you think that
conversation is over?
But 4 years running, 5 years running, how long it's been, Antonio Super Rats was so close every time, and he just got edged out.
It wasn't Antonio. It was Anthony Liley. That's the one that's always been edged out. Antonio Super Rats.
Oh, that's right. You're right. You know, I'm sorry. You're right. You know what? I get them all confused. Super Rats did win, actually.
I heard his channel got deleted.
But here's what happened is Flat Earth Aussie Jesus. I don't care what any of y'all say. Flat Earth Aussie Jesus said, and I quote here, "The sun is an interdimensional portal."
Yes, that was my favorite thing that he said. That was my favorite.
Ross is a little. He's a little touched.
The light is coming through a portal.
That makes the Parker Space Probe even more.
I really liked it. I really loved it when Ross was talking about how he had done some fucked up drugs or something, and he started talking about how he sank into the earth and went back in time to realize exactly how the trees and everything
became
were.
one with the earth. Thomas Miller, $50 super chat. Thank you, Thomas. He says, because Ozzy Globehead I win on conversion. Thank you, Thomas. That's true. Convert, yeah. But don't get into super chat war kind of thing. I don't need that. I'm doing good. I got hooked up pretty well, so I'm not hurting right now.
We've been doing this dumb fuck of the year thing for 6 years now, and it's like, wow. One, holy shit. Two, there's been a lot of dumb fucks here, but no one has ever claimed the sun is an interdimensional portal and actually meant it.
So Reds, does that mean that you've got to go through like the photosphere to get to another dimension, or?
No, you're gonna love this, Landon. You're gonna love this. He says that light does not travel.
I mean, Lemon Bird said that the pyramids were made of petrified giants.
So all the experiments I did on the measuring the speed of light and bouncing laser beam from the Lick mirror.
Those are lies from the pit of hell. Those are all lies from the pit of hell.
I mean, it was 60 kilowatts of certain laser, but it went up to the moon and back. Because by the way, for the mirrors that the Apollo astronauts left on the moon.
Yeah, they're all lies apparently.
So real quick, I was thinking
drama enough for this.
Yeah, by the way,
how have you not have the same person every there's no consecutive winner. There's just more.
Well, he had a rule at one time that you can only win once. And so
wait, that's a rule.
Well, now, but Reds gets to change. We all can change the rules. The rule is there's really no rules anymore.
Rule is that Red rules. So.
Yeah, and so it was Anthony Riley that I was going to go with the Sean because Super Rats won the first year.
Could Godless Engineer win?
Yeah,
theoretically,
sure.
Yeah. Basically,
he's nominated. I'm nominating a couple people. I'm allowed to nominate multiple people.
He did lose to Ken Hovind.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost to Ken Hovind. I think that qualifies for dumb fuck of the year.
He stuck his face he cannonballed into the water and then was like, I don't want to get wet. And
can you say whale penis?
Here's what happened with it.
For being an idiot to go, how dare you go after a veteran, you fucking nut? What are you doing?
There is 3 rules to dumb fuck of the year. One is that you have to be a dumb fuck by choice, not disability. The other rule is that you have to be at least somewhat familiar with us, which is the group of people that I will have nominating people. And the other rule is that you have to just get the most votes. That's pretty much it. So the way it works is that I'm going to invite like 10 really cool people into a hangout, and we're all going to decide who's the top 10 that's going to run this year. And then after that, we let everyone else vote for him, and the winner be the one who gets the most.
We might go for a dirty dozen. We might go for a dirty dozen this.
I mean,
dirty dozen.
Yeah,
Reds.
There's some special cases this year.
So you just it sounds like you just described the campaign for the Tory leadership in the so-called United Kingdom.
Listen,
Pretty much.
there are governments that don't run as well.
Yeah, but basically
they do
after
usually
that,
have a whole group of dumb fucks people are voting for, though. So I mean,
but basically after that, it's no holds barred. Break out those stock accounts, people, and vote as many times as you want.
I have a question. Could one of the dumb fucks be one of the cool people?
Yes. Reg and I were
if
going
you
to be
get
nominated for something.
yeah.
I don't. What would we do? We were going to nominate ourselves, but I forget what it was for.
We were going to nominate ourselves for like some sort of charity. I'm not exactly sure what it was for, but the way it works is that with the 10 people in, we all decide who's the top 10, and it can be any one of us.
Chat's like, I'm voting for Kyle and GE. Like, let's not forget that Katie went after veterans.
Yeah,
let's not forget that one.
I don't know if that qualifies for dumb fuck of the year. I think that's
do they
more
count
just
as
being
a
piece of
group?
shit.
Are they a group now?
They're a group, yeah. Yeah, they're
so do they count? So is it like at least three? Because I mean, KC's been pretty quiet about it. But, like,
I gotta give Casey credit. She's been staying the fuck out of it. Smart.
I don't
move by
think
her.
she. No, okay, hold on. There's a difference between staying out of it and talking about it publicly. I don't think she's staying out of it.
Okay, well,
but she's not stupid enough to say anything on her account.
Yeah, well, she's not stupid enough to go after me for having VA. Kawasa, if somebody argues the Earth is actually flat, but just the space is non-Euclidean warped in a sphere, that's just the same thing as a spherical Earth, right? We're going to go with that, Kawasa.
No.
Sure. No.
What?
I don't know. If someone argues the Earth is actually flat, but just that space is non-Euclidean warped into a sphere...
That's not how it goes.
Not how any of this works, Kawasa.
That's not how
Steve,
it works.
If you remember...
Okay.
One
That
sec, team.
That qualifies for going to stage 2.
All right, yeah, there you go. Stage 2, commence. All right, team, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say if remember I was in that debate with a guy that said the exact same thing. He said that the Earth is flat, except for that space-time is bent so much that the geodesics make it look like it's
do you know how much gravity that would be and what happened with light if that was the case? We would be living on a black hole.
Yeah, somebody brought that up too. They said, well, we have a wormhole that's just in our atmosphere. And I was like, do you understand what that would do to everything on Earth?
I don't think they do.
In our atmosphere.
So I didn't know that the Earth was a neutron star.
We would be living.
No, I mean, I would have been looking for the neutronium, and it's right down there.
You got three.
Wow.
You got three major progressions. You have electron degenerative pressure, which would be a white dwarf. Then you have neutron degenerative pressure with a neutron star. Then you got black hole. So it's going to be one of those things because if you're living on any one of those, you're going to have that kind of effect, and you're going to be in serious hurt because how if you were on a neutron star, think how compressed you would be. You'd be a size of a 10 to the negative 17th, meters. You'd be like.
And just think about the earthquakes that we have here. Those would be like, reverberating out and gravity.
Yeah, well, for a starquake, for a neutron star, that
would be cool.
If it shifts a millimeter, it can be felt light years away.
Yes, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the biggest quake we've ever seen in humanity was a Richter scale 23 or 24 on a neutron star.
So anyway, I'm moving on to Seattle Copperworks.
See flat earthers.
I need to review.
Flat earthers. See what they do. They make Landon Kurt Knoll drink.
Yes.
Yep.
He's destroying his brain cells with alcohol because of flat earthers. That precious mind of his.
Yeah, we're honoring Pele. This is the whiskey that you. Although Jack Daniel's is Pele's preferred drink. This is the second level stuff. So.
We need a review from Landon, and also please do not ruin Landon with flat Earth. He's got better shit to do.
Theistic Luciferian, $2. May all give thanks to our Lord, the falling age. Hey, there you go. This is for you, Russian Veds, if you're out there. And by the way, no, I haven't got my lens yet. People are talking about. I still one.
Russian Vids, you still have some time to make it to Florida. Go there. Delete your channel.
Now, question for you, Reds.
None of them delete their channels.
Of course not. Well, Patricia Steer did, but I don't think it was related. But let me ask you, Reds, when you did your video, because I was watching part where you were talking to Russian Vids, were you talking to him in real time?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
I shit on that guy in my first hangout with him.
And so you were talking to him in real time as you were showing the launch, showing the camera you're using, showing the angles, literally putting it all out there. You were whipping it all out for him. And
yes, I was whipping it all out, but it wasn't during a launch. It was during an observation I was making of the Tampa Bay skyline over Old Tampa Bay by the Skyway Bridge.
Okay, that's where you were. Yeah, you're okay. So
now what's going to happen on the 24th is I'm going to wait until I see Russian vids in the live chat, and I'm going to ask him for one thing. Please tell me which way he wants me to swing the camera, left and right, up and down.
How dare you? Why wouldn't you ask him why I'm a bimbo?
Oh, you're trying to show him evidence?
Yeah, exactly. Basically showing everyone that this is not CGI, this isn't pre-recorded, this is in fact live. Now, when he was when he tried to get around this little inconvenience the first time, it turned into a catastrophic shit show in his direction. Now imagine that, but with a Falcon Heavy rocket. Now we're talking. Now we're basically talking something that will go down in history as the best ownage moments ever.
I just watched the video where you were sitting on the shoreline and you had the camera set up and you were like, "Oh, can you see the skyline of the buildings?" And he was like, "Oh no, come on, Reds, you zoomed it out a little bit more." So you took a picture, and him being a fucking idiot didn't realize that you were looking at the picture when you zoomed into it, and you were like, "There's the fucking building."
I don't know if Russian Viz is actually playing the part of a village idiot or he actually is that stupid.
Both.
Well,
he thinks he's playing
a combination of both. Yeah,
but he actually is an idiot.
We have a flat earther in live chat if they want to come in. He's more than welcome to. Ali B. I don't know if he's still flat earth or not, but Ali B was going to get me an alcoholic drink one of these days. But Ali, you know what? I'm going to give you a toast, Ali. So he's a flat earther I like. If there's
he's so dumb that he actually believes in numerology. Now, one time I did this when Nonsequitur show was actually still cool. Was it
was 95% cool.
Yeah. What I did to show him just how much numerology doesn't really mean anything is I actually used numerology to prove that he had a sexual relationship with O.J. Simpson.
That's a fact. I heard that's the case.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe that one.
That was actually a pretty entertaining episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's amazing what you can do with numbers.
Yeah, it's amazing. So basically, it's almost like I can just make any amount of shit up and have numbers conveniently agree with me. Go figure.
Tarot cards.
And there's so many numbers to be agreeable. So
yeah, like 6.
Landon would know.
Yeah, I believe there's like an infinite amount of numbers.
How many numbers are between 0 and 1 again?
I believe it's an infinite amount of numbers.
I'm
which is
happy
okay? Cheshire, which has a greater? Here's one for Cheshire. Hush, Landon. Which is a greater degree of infinity? All the real numbers between 0 and 1, or all the or countable numbers in between infinity, negative infinity, infinities, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1, 2, all the integers.
My instinct says the real numbers between 1 through 5.
Yeah, it's a higher. They're both infinite, but the one's a higher order of infinity.
Right.
One's a higher order.
One is more prevalent.
You get into the old Aleph knot.
Yeah, when you start getting
as somebody who doesn't,
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The card. Yes, and
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, then you get into like supersets and shit.
I love that theory.
Now you're talking.
Cantor's link.
Here's what's gonna have to happen. You and me, we're both gonna piss Steve off. Okay, here we go.
Gotcha.
Now 0.99999 repeating does not equal 1, right?
This is
no, of course it does. What do you mean?
Yeah, this is why Reds hasn't finished his engineering works yet. We'll get there though.
It depends on how.
Obviously.
Red, it depends on how much you repeat it, right? If you repeat it a finite number of times, then no.
I rounded it.
Yeah. By the way, he's the
one.
mathematician in the room. That guy.
Steve, sorry to interrupt, but can you check your DMs? Just quickly.
I will try.
Please and thank you.
Sure. Did you send me a dick pic? Because I got one the other day.
No, I did not.
Okay. You know, I'm the one who sent the dick pic. I've never got an unsolicited nude, and that doesn't count for that dick pic. I'm sorry.
I am a female on the internet. I have not gotten a single
I read it. Thank you.
Unsolicited dick pic.
That's gonna change.
I can send you the one. I can send you the one I got.
You cursed yourself,
you know who sent it to me.
Dox me, bro.
You'll have nobody to blame but you.
Jess, do me a favor and check your DMs.
It's been,
Chess,
I've been on the internet for years. It doesn't even matter what you send me now. It's too late.
Do you want?
There's no going
well,
back.
first of all, you're soliciting now. This is not unsolicited.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you want the one sent to me? The one sent to me was somebody you're doing a commission for right now.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
He told me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm sure he's very proud of it. Which I'm not sure. I mean, it's.
He was disappointed that it wasn't live.
So does a photo of Richard Nixon count as a dick pic?
Yes, I've said that. I think
so.
I sent one to you.
There's also Dick Tracy.
I think I
No, the thing is that if you send me a dick pic now, it
Cheney.
doesn't count as unsolicited, so it doesn't even
Right.
matter.
Right. No, I don't remember who I sent a Richard Nixon thing to.
What if it was
Dick Van Dyke's the best one because it has the word dyke in it.
Ben, what?
Okay, my phone just blinked a bunch.
Ben, what were you trying to say?
I was talking about furries. You can ignore me. Never mind.
So why don't we have other? I thought there's the flat earthers in this group of stuff.
Yeah, so did I. I thought.
Well, I mean, they're in the chat.
They're in
but
the
they haven't
chat.
come in.
They're welcome to come in.
Yeah.
Well, some of them, not all of them. Some of them are known for doing bad things. But our Ali B is always welcome. He's a cool.
So I say, so when I head to the southern hemisphere on water, which meets its level, I guess, on there, then what's going to happen to me? And I've been trying to get Red Eye to tell me about these ground harnesses because apparently people in the ledge continent of Australia have these ground harnesses so they don't fall off.
Spontaneous ground harness failure is one of the
But he's never explained how you use ground harnesses on the ocean. That's
you told me that before, Landon, and I told you you're talking about a guy, Red Eye, who doesn't even know how to tie a shoe, and you're trusting him with your safety down there.
Yeah, and you understand that like the leading cause of death in Australia is failure of ground harness, right?
Yeah, it's popped open.
Like all the animals there,
Fall right in the
all
sun,
the animals there are actually completely harmless. They just need to put the books to make it's part of the.
We got a 10-minute warning again, folks.
Yeah.
Another one, really.
Well, I'll have to get to the new link. Yeah, I'll have to figure out something. We'll have to get a Zoom. I'll just buy it.
We'll have to get the account, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we won't have these interruptions.
Yeah, it's not going to be a long Rum and Coke night tonight. I'm probably going to eat my candy and.
Speak for yourself. I'm going to be drinking all night.
Yeah.
But I'm looking. I have more stages to go. So.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah, we got 3 stages for Landon. This can't be a short hangout.
Let me ask
this
you
is like Steve's going to leave, but the rest of us are going to stay.
Show people. What I can do is this.
Because the meeting's going to keep turning off.
Hang on. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do we got? I could change this to a normal hangout, and that doesn't leave because I invited all the Patreons, and they all have the link, but this is the only people that showed up to actually join. A lot of people don't like going on air; they're actually in the live chat. So I could actually just do a really quick turnover to a hangout. We can just migrate to there if you want. I mean, same thing here. Is just
hey Steve.
Sure. Yeah.
While the clock is running out, do you want me to go set a hang up on the GDC real quick?
Well, I mean, if you want to set up an off-air and give us the link, you can do that real quick. Just set it up as an off-air. Let's see.
I mean, technically, Google Hangouts isn't gone yet. We can move to that.
Well, I'm not going to do a Google Hangout. Yes and no. What I do is I do an off-air Google Hangout. I have a room already set up for it. How long do we got?
8 minutes.
Oh, I got plenty of time. Okay, talk amongst yourselves, and I'll do this real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so
we need the review. We need the review from Landon.
Yeah.
So Coffeeworks Distillery is actually 91% New American oak and 9% sherry. It's been aged for 32 months. And again, the Coffeeworks Distillery is in Seattle on the harbor steps near the bottom next to the aqueduct, the viaduct they're going to remove. It's got a really nice notes of caramel or caramel, depending on how you do it.
Does it have oak hint?
Not really. It's more. It's actually got more of like a maple there. So if you know about Canadian maple and Canadian maple syrup,
I do.
Yes, we have a vault of it. It was robbed.
That's required reading in like 6th grade for Canadians.
There's literally a thing called the Great Maple Syrup Heist.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It's a real thing.
And anyway, so they're serious. By the way, I must also say that since you diverted my diversion, I had some interesting. I actually had a vegan poutine presented to me in Montreal.
Oh, vegan poutine is not actually bad.
Yeah,
and it was actually
sounds bad.
surprisingly.
I'm sorry that
It was
It's not. No,
surprisingly.
it's not. It's really not. Because the
Vegan
only part of a
poutine.
poutine that's not vegan, it depends on if you're talking about vegetarian or vegan. Because the cheese, if you're going for not the cheese, then it could be kind of weird. But it's the gravy that's the problem, right?
Yeah, but they had vegan cheese in it too. So, because I was asking about vegetarian, things, and because poutine, you have to experience it.
Yes, you have to. If you haven't tried poutine, it's great, and I reckon. Oh my God, Landon, if you're coming here, I'm going to make you breakfast.
I
poutine.
want poutine, and I can't find it anywhere down here.
Then you need to move the hangout from LA and come here instead.
Hey, Reds, have you had Cheshire's poutine yet?
I have. It was very delicious.
I hear her poutine is like one of the best.
It is. I make fucking fantastic food. I'm a great cook. Anybody who says otherwise is a goddamn
Everybody
liar.
wants your poutine.
Whatever you do for the rest of the night, do not take those glasses off the tip of your nose.
I told her that.
Cool.
Did I not talk about this the other day, Chess, about your glasses that you got to keep them using?
Well,
them?
yeah, you told me about the glasses, and you told me I need to change my hair, and you told me I need to do this, and I need to have a look. And I got piggly.
Look, I told her to cut her bangs. She did.
I'm trying new things. All right, I'm doing what you asked me to do. I'm letting the chat.
I'm trying
decide.
to change her. Actually, these were all her ideas. I just acknowledge
I'm being sexually harassed.
These were all her ideas. I'm going, okay, yeah, that works. I guess.
That's okay. I have a surprise for Red set up. So.
I bet you do.
Oh my God! Well, I had a surprise for you. Now I feel bad. So I mean, I got you knee pads. Does that count?
Safety first.
Well, that's not a surprise.
Do they have Oval Office, on the Oval Office written on the knee pads? That's the ultimate knee pads.
Listen, a man cares about you when instead of buying knee pads, they change the carpet.
To a plush.
Right?
Right.
Plush or shag. Shag carpet is worse too.
Shag. Yeah, none of that short little shit, because that'll burn like real fast.
No, that fucking like the shit that you like. Okay, there's a really big difference between like a plush bedroom carpet and the shit you put in the hallway.
Yes.
If you put the shit in the hallway in your bedroom, God help you.
I start migrating over to the other thing real quick. So the link.
Landon, somebody
got it pulled
in
up.
the live chat is asking if you've ever heard of quantized inertia.
I've heard of the concept.
Where's the link, Steve?
In the chat. In the internal chat.
Oh.
Yeah.
An eternal chat.
You see it?
Oh yes, I see it.
So I'm going to be migrating over there in just a second here.
Yeah, we got 3 minutes left here. Yeah. 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
All right, let's do it.
I'm already in whenever we're ready.
I don't see you in there.
Hey, Steve, I'm going to have to step out for the rest of the night, but I'll be listening in.
Awesome. Sweet.
I also want to say hi, Team Skeptic, since this is the first time we've actually been in a call together.
Well, I was in a call with you the other day, but everything was kind of hectic, so I was just being quiet and listening.
And here we are.
Oh, no, that's right. You were in there.
All right, go transition over because I've got 3 people in 2 different rooms here. So hang on one second.
Have a good night.
Oh, wait a minute.
Have a good night. I'll still.
How did I?
Okay, so we're on this one now.
Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Did we all
friendly Secular astronomer?
Now,
oh my God, Ben, your picture.
Why is it just?
And the person.
Oh yeah,
who is
that's
the
me.
I'm so confused.
I'm very handsome there.
Let's actually fix.
Did we transition over on the live stream too?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yes. But I can't. There we go. There we go. Now we're making it.
Oh, this is the one that shows my own window wider than it actually is, and it bothers me.
Oh yeah, it's frustrating.
So one of the things we're going to do on the ship in the southern hemisphere is, as we approach Pitcairn, I'm going to go and when I see go up to Crow's Nest, when we actually see Pitcairn, then I'm going to go back down onto the deck of the ship and show that Pitcairn goes away and back up to the top, right? This up down thing, to show how the horizon level changes with altitude.
Can you crudely draw my logo on a shirt you don't care about while you do it?
Okay.
Bitch, I could do that shit live.
If I miss a few stupid shouts,
I restart my computer, I can do it right the fuck now.
Biblical history. Run one sec. Biblical history skeptics, $2. Steve, notice me, senpai.
Senpai.
It says off air up on top.
Well, yeah, because I'm streaming, dude.
Yeah, we're screen
live.
capping
Don't
it.
worry, dude. We're live. They can see you. They
If
can
it
hear
were
everything you say.
highlighted, it would mean that we were off air.
Can somebody give Chris a link? Oh, you know what? I can do it because you're all lazy fucks.
What do you need to do?
I was gonna give Chris a link. Christopher Hansen.
Oh, I don't have Chris on literally anything. I don't think.
Neither do I.
Most people don't. Yeah, most people don't.
Did you see anything about? Did you see that asshole that went at Chris on the Raging Atheist the other night? I think it was just last night. Raging had a NIFB member on.
Yeah, he did. Said, I haven't watched it yet.
Said, nice. And he said, and this guy said, I won't talk to sodomites. And he called Chris a Twinkie and said he wouldn't talk to him and was just being.
Is it possible for a female to be a sodomite?
He said his mother was a sodomite. He said, I hate my mother because she's a sodomite.
If not,
I hate my mom because she likes it in the butt.
He said she was a sodomite.
Wow.
What does he consider a sodomite, though? Because I know you can
like what's the
consider
definition
anything
in his mind, right?
Well, I have no idea. I'm not an expert in that field.
I looked it up. I looked it up online, and I'm going to save a few links for later. But according to the Googles on the sodomite, apparently it's just someone that engages in deplorable sexual acts.
Oh, then we're all.
So it's not even like that specific.
Okay.
It's just whatever's like arbitrarily considered deplorable by whoever.
So like Saturday nights for us.
So
I
here's
think
the thing,
missionary position is deplorable because it's boring.
So
Does that count?
Is there like a
I think it does. And agreed.
There you go.
It's having anal intercourse with someone according to Google.
With someone. Okay, well at least it's person.
So I guess that considered.
Got a couple
at least it's person.
Yeah, yes, it's a person. Dapper Dino, you read Biblical History Skeptics Super Chat, but not mine. I see how it is. Did you have one? Because I thought I saw some go by. Let me see if we had another one.
I mean, I don't get what the big fucking deal is. It's like, hey, if you're already there, might as well. It's like, babe, you're in the wrong hole. Just because my path is different does not mean I am lost.
Listen, just because, like, if somebody's answer is you're in the wrong hole, it's fine. It's already been dealt with. This is a non-issue.
Yeah, the fact that you said that it matters that it's a person, like, just makes me think, like, until we figure out how to sodomize corporations, they should not get to be people.
Oh, you know what? That's the best argument against Citizens United I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Hi, Chris.
I think so.
I can't run. I'm gonna have to run figure out how to do two virtual cameras one of these days because I have no. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's horrible.
Oh, Christopher. Hey, man, how's it going? Hey, listen, I haven't gotten that $200 payment that you promised me, so if you can like it on that'd be great.
Reds, I was thinking about changing my hair to match Chris's. Is that a problem?
That will not be a problem as long as you keep those cute glasses on.
Perfect.
Reds, are my glasses cute?
Your glasses want me to cheese grate my own nipples.
Oh,
Chris, does your hair work with bangs? I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're very quiet.
Yeah, you're very, very quiet.
Like, yeah, barely.
We can hear you, but it's like you're 4 blocks away.
A little bit more.
Is that better?
Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's okay. I didn't need my high pitch here on range. It's okay.
Is that better?
Sorry, audience.
So that's good.
It seems like there's somebody talking that I'm not hearing because people are responding to something.
Why does everyone have shitty audio except for me?
My audio.
Hey,
Is
I
my
don't have
audio
shitty audio.
shit?
Well, I have a new audio setup that I'm working on, but I haven't finished it yet. I'm going to run 2 computers. I have this computer that I got from Glenn, and I'm going to put that as a backup, and I'm going to run 24/7. I think on the GDC one of these days with this, and then I'm going to be running the new computer for live streaming, dual streaming to this channel and to Twitch. I think we're going to go to. I think so. I'm going to have a studio here, man. I'm going full out.
You're going to actually almost be professional.
Somewhat. Now, if I could just understand the topic and kind of pretend like I know what I'm doing, it's going to be like cool.
Steve, are you going to start doing ASMR?
Yes.
Penis.
We're going to do flat Earth I don't.
So
need
since
I
it's
don't
just
need
us here, Chess. Question: Did you want the spiked or the ribbed? I'm curious.
Listen, if the answer is not, why not both? You're doing it wrong.
You know what? I stand corrected. You know what? I'll get to work on that. All
Or
right.
you just say red super glue is your friend.
Did you guys also know who snuck in here? Did you not see her and nobody said hi to her?
You can't not see her. She's fucking gorgeous.
Isn't
Shut
she?
your face.
I'm aware of this.
You shut your face.
Why is everybody getting dolled up?
Won't fight me?
I do, actually.
Thanks for noticing, Steve.
Yeah.
Listen. I think there is
I
a
appear not to be
reasonable way
hearing
to solve
some
this.
people, so I'm going to exit and re-enter.
Here's how we solve this little problem that we have. Okay, kiddie pool, chocolate syrup. You two girls fight. Okay.
Well, the problem was that
we have to film it with a P900.
The problem is that
the only way to know that it's valid.
They said they would do that, but the problem was they couldn't decide whether whipped cream, peanut butter, or mud, and we were gonna have to figure that out.
I'm pretty sure we said all of the above. It's stages.
Look, you
we
don't
gotta
need to
be like
film-
I don't
Landon.
have whipped cream because the cleanup is a lot more fun.
Also,
No,
you
whipped
don't
cream
need
is
to
the
film
topping,
it. You
though,
don't
right?
need to film it with the flat Earth camera of choice. I'm pretty sure that neither of you are flat.
Oh,
Are you
that
making
was
sexual
smooth.
references to their chest size? Good for you.
That was smooth as
Yeah.
fuck, dude.
I feel like I'm being sexually harassed somehow.
We could do that too if you want.
Ben,
Allegedly.
Dude, you have a boyfriend, so I don't want him to get pissed off. But whatever.
Ben, you shut your whore mouth, okay?
That's another thing that's floating around that I'm gay, and I'm cool with that. I don't care. That's like if you're gonna charge me with something, that's like who gives a fuck if you want to call me gay? Like, I care.
Pretty strange anyway.
Steve, we know the requests you keep sending me are not gay.
They're provocative.
They're intellectual.
How is that even an insult? Oh, you're gay. I don't get that. I mean, like, people are going to talk shit about me. That's the best they can come up with. I mean, if they say something like, hey, Steve, you want to
you're just scientifically exploring biology.
They can say, hey, Steve, you want to
It's
get
the
ugly
greatest
chicks?
insult of the NIFB.
Yeah,
It's
McCobb's,
true.
he's gay for me. I mean, I'm flattered by it. Why would I give a shit? Except for Dave McGinnis. Don't be gay for me, Dave.
Well, actually, here's
All right,
a
Steve,
here's a
won't.
question for all the gay people. If you actually come across a bigot in public, like, what do you do to just piss them off?
Depends. Am I with my boyfriend or not?
Let's say you're with. Do you just
I
go
want
straight for
both.
the open mouth tongue kiss?
I want both.
I would aggressively
good story
PDA.
for that.
All right, hang on. You guys kind of talk at once. It's having a problem. Jake 3D, $2. Gay for science. Yay. So what were you saying? What would you do, Ben?
Aggressive PDA. That's my preferred method.
I'm
Otherwise, I'll just punch him.
I'm not a big fan of PDA for myself, except back in the day, there were some times I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to show her off and you guys are going to eat shit. So.
All right. Well, Christopher, you wanted to say something.
So when gay marriage was just legalized, a Baptist church that was a block away from me was having its own hissy fit about it and put up "God hates fag" signs in their front area. And so
demonetized now. Okay, never mind. No.
So me and a friend of mine, his name was Paul. We went out in front of the church and we waited until it was on Sunday. We waited until the congregation was letting out, and then we snogged each other in front of the pastor.
Fuck yeah, stick it to the man.
You guys are such wrongs.
You could see a vein throbbing in his head a mile away.
Why do they give a shit so much? That's one of the things that does bug me about religion, because people know my history and I left the Mormon church because of their stance on all that, and I was like, a church should not be involved in this stuff, right? It just if you're a church and you're involved in secular things and you're funding, regardless of what it is, if you're funding something where they're pro or against gay marriage, I don't think you should do either one, honestly, because even though I'm very much pro gay marriage, I think a church should just stay out the thing altogether, right? And so I couldn't be a part of that, and why it is such a big deal to them. If a church says, hey, look, we don't give a shit, I bet they would probably get a lot more numbers, because I think it's all about the money anyways. So why don't they go where the money is and say, hey, you know what? We have revelation. God said it's cool now. Go suck a dick.
Have you seen that one pastor or whomever who's talking about how how Jesus is transgender?
No.
What?
No.
It's because they were talking about virgin birth, right? So parthenogenesis, right?
Then he would be a female, yeah.
He would must be female, right? Biologically, based off of a parthenogenetic
and he would be
birth.
dead because they're not viable.
So
and
that's
also
where the miracles
humans are not
come from.
postzygotically
Also
viable.
definitely a lich.
Hey, I'd just like to point something out. You know, you said something about like a church shouldn't be in on, one way or the other, have anything to say about gay marriage. I just want to point out and give Chris a chance to say something about this. He basically had a guy tell him last night that the government should round him up and kill him. I mean,
well, that's because of his position on mythicism. That's all. That's the carrier group after him.
Not wrong. I think Landon was trying to do a little mic check, but I'm not sure.
Landon?
He's muted right now.
Test.
Yeah, you're fine. So,
there you go.
So with the whole NFIB, how do they think it's a good idea? Because they're losing money, right? Their PayPals are getting demolished because it is hate speech, and so people are going after their PayPal, rightfully so. Do you think that it affects them in their pocketbook enough that they'll all of a sudden have revelation that they were wrong, or how's that going to work?
They're probably just going to dissolve before any of that happens, unfortunately. Actually, fortunately. Fucking fortunately. Super fortunately.
We got Donald Trump in the live chat again. Hey, President Trump, $2. He says, make secularism great again. MSGA. Yes.
Donald Trump is probably one of the greatest supporters in Super Chats that I've seen in some time.
Him and actually Hoban CPA. I love Hoban.
Yeah, just don't let Pence hear you say that, though.
Well, listen, we don't want to talk about Pence.
We don't want to talk about politics, I think.
Can we just pretend that Pence doesn't exist?
There's two things that go to shit whenever you start talking about SJW and politics. And those are toxic, right? As a matter of fact, in the great debate community, where everything was going fine until I was talked into having a political section in it.
I mean, we had that good... Wait, no, you know what, though? We had that good chat with Eli Bosnick from Scathing Atheist.
I think politics can be great so long as we keep it to talking about Donald Trump's golden showers.
I mean, we could talk about Canadian politics.
Ooh, yeah, give us the lowdown on Trudeau.
Yeah, what's going on
with
Trudeau? Trudeau said something really, really stupid the other day, and it was so stupid that I forgot what it was. Because it was just, my brain was like going, did he really say this?
There's
He's
good at something. He blew his butt.
What happened? There was like one Canadian politician that accidentally bumped into another one and made an apology, and apparently that was
Trudeau accidentally elbowed a woman. Elbowed. He kind of brushed her. It didn't look like she kind of got knocked back a little bit, but it was more like confined space, and he made a public apology about it.
But she was triggered.
And apparently that was
was it her that was triggered, or was it the other people around her?
Nation. Everybody went to shit over that. It was stupid.
And for that, they're going to go for the Conservatives? No.
I hope not.
Oh, dear.
It's like, Trudeau isn't perfect, but the NDP aren't a viable party right now with the current leadership. Just won't happen, especially in central Canada. The Green Party, certainly not going to happen.
And people are pissed at the Conservatives for being assholes.
Yeah, and I don't want to see a repeat of Harper, so I guess we're stuck with Trudeau, maybe with a...
I don't think he's that bad. I think he...
Yeah, he's just cringy at times. He's cringy at times.
Well, okay, so he's got a little bit of an SJW problem, which is I get it. He has to play to what he has to play to, right? But at the same time... He also overspent a bunch, but the reason he overspent is that he was basically betting on that weed would sell really well and make all the money back, and he wasn't wrong.
Yeah, I know some.
Yeah, it's doing quite well, and this is our first summer of legal weed, so I'm sure that tourism is going to spike up in some capacity.
I know somebody else who spent too much too, but we're not going to talk about that. Jake 3D, no politics, no religion, or just religion, philosophy, and sexism. Laughing my fucking ass off. And Donald Trump again. Pence is my little useful idiot to win Christmas. That's actually a good use of him, actually.
Christians.
Yeah. The war on Christmas.
Oh my God! Okay, that does not exist in Canada. People
It
bring it
doesn't
up, but that's not a real
It doesn't really
thing.
exist
And I
here
don't
either.
think it's a real. Yeah, I don't think it's a real thing.
Dude, I swear to God, in retail, every year this comes up in Christmas time, and every year nobody gives a flying fuck. I've never had a customer give a shit about it that I recall. Not one.
I worked in customer service all the way through high school and into college, and actually, yeah, up until I dropped out of college to go work a factory job. Not one single time did I had one person say, "Oh, thank you for wishing me Merry Christmas," but it was somebody from my church. They knew who I was.
Oh man, yeah. The only war on anything that happens here at Christmas time is there seems to be a war against the song "It's Cold Outside."
Yeah, and by the way, the rumor that Kyle's running for treasurer is false, by the way. Yeah.
What?
Kyle's not running for treasurer.
Oh, no, that was a meme.
Oh.
That was a meme.
That's a good meme.
Yes, it is.
But, I mean, there's certainly open positions in the.
Oh my God,
the
he
Brit-
never
the British
even
cabinet.
Did Trump ever actually finish hiring people for
No,
Almost everyone has been interim and then kicked out and then interim and then kicked out.
But did he ever
Why do you think
actually
he thinks he needs
interim
4 more
everybody?
years?
Well, I don't know if you know this, Chesh, but initially, Trump is a required law in the United States that the president who's coming into office has to have their cabinet ready. He didn't have any of that shit done because he didn't have anything prepared.
No, of course
he
he
didn't think he was going to win. And now he has this it's like the most ad hoc organization I've ever seen. If you look,
I have the best people. Okay,
have you
believe me?
you seen
Just
the
get the
chart?
best people and
It
the
says-
best words.
It says like for the first 3 months there's this person, then this person took over for these many months, and so every office has like 5 fucking different
All right.
people. It's ridiculous.
Side note.
But
They
Side
don't have
note.
nameplates, they have
America.
masking tape.
Side note. We need
America.
to know what Sweet is drinking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we haven't got. Yeah, we haven't
Oh.
asked her.
That
Everybody else share. Donald Trump, real quick. It's pronounced crooked, Kyle. Yeah. Okay, Sweet. What do you got for us? What are you drinking?
I'm just having some Captain Morgan and ginger ale.
This is my favorite.
That sounds
Really?
delicious.
Oh yeah, dark and stormy.
You had me at Captain Morgan.
Is it the dark? It's the spiced, right?
Of course.
Let the
Yeah.
spice flow.
See,
I like
know.
I like Captain Morgan,
That's-
but I got to tell you, if you want to save a buck and it's just as good, it has a little bit of vanilla flavor, go get Admiral Nelson spice rum. Really good.
I
I
just
would
want
be
to.
interested about that,
I've
actually.
never had that one before.
I
Yeah,
just want
I'm
to
not usually
snuggle.
a huge rum drinker, but
Are you guys
it's good to know.
Are you guys having a moment?
Yeah.
Do you guys need
Obviously
another
have
room?
very good taste.
I bet you money that I could make Sweet Heathen a drink that she would fucking love.
HS.
I
Quick
bet you
thing.
could pour me a glass full of mud and I would still love it.
Oh god, this is how I think this is how 2 Girls 1 Cup got started. Just saying.
You say that like it's a problem.
And I mean,
Girls,
I'm
one
not
cup
saying-
of mud.
You know, one person made me watch it as a dare, and I was like, I don't see the problem.
I've never watched it. Never bothered to.
Don't watch
Steve, do I have a link to send you?
Yeah, no, don't bother. No, unless
Talk
that
about
link,
unsolicited dudes.
unless that link is Chesh and Sweet and whipped cream, I don't want to see it.
Well, we'll get to that later. But also, Chess, you know that one picture that you sent me in my DMs. Can you get it? Can you get me the picture without the blocks? That'd be great.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that's
is it
gonna
Minecraft?
cost you $19.99.
That's fine. Just make sure
Cash
that the
check,
bra is
charge.
also not involved. Okay.
Donald,
Yeah, no problem.
Donald Trump, $2 more. Be safe, you crazy kids. Thank you, Daddy.
I am so close to
Oh,
fucking
Daddy
400
Trump.
people on Twitter.
Wait,
You need more people.
You've had sex with 400 people from your Twitter?
Yes, that is absolutely what I said.
That is impressive, actually. You are a hard worker. That's a lot of work.
I enjoy working.
You know what?
I mean,
if you're gonna have,
Chess, I was wondering why I had to wait in line. God damn it!
Did you grab a number?
you might as well do what you enjoy doing. What the hell's
I
wrong
mean,
with
no.
that?
Those buzzers that they give you at restaurants. I got one of those.
Oh, that's never gonna go off.
If you get
It's just solid
I'd be more than
plastic.
happy to catch your overflow.
Yeah, really? Like
Yeah,
now
it's
serving
only- it's
number
only the,
342. Now serving number
It's only the
342.
it's only the solicitation in public in Canada that's illegal. Just
Oh, so you can't.
everything else is. You just can't solicit publicly.
I'm at home, so
But
this
you can do it
doesn't count as
privately?
public.
So wait,
Yes, you can privately solicit people.
I need details here. I need details here. So if I like,
Yes.
so like Chester's in Canada. So if I went to her house and I negotiated with something in her own house, that's legal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
It's totally fine.
Then why the fuck they don't do that here in the States?
I
I don't know. Why the fuck
fact,
is it
in
not
fact-
legal to do it not in your house?
I'll tell you what. Okay, you know what? Fuck this.
Up until just a few years ago, under Harper, they made a few little convenient changes to the legislation. But up until then, we had brothels and stuff here that were perfectly legal too.
I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm flying to Boston. I'm giving Sweet $5 and at least getting a nipple slip or something.
A nipple slipple?
Wow. You know, for that, it's at least a bottle of wine, and if you can find a bottle of wine that is good for $5, we'll talk.
Ooh,
you know what?
Sweet. Have you tried Bear Flag?
There are some actually. There
are.
Cheap wine. You know what? People pay a lot of money for like high-end wine when you get cheap wine.
Oh
for
no,
$8
I like cheap wine,
Yeah.
but I mean like a good one, like a really good one.
Arbor Mist
Well, what
is
do you
really good.
prefer? Do you
Enough.
prefer red or do you prefer white?
Definitely red.
Okay, do you prefer like a sweeter taste or you prefer the sharper taste?
Somewhere in the middle.
Try Bear Flag.
Like a Pinot Noir is my favorite.
Oh, when we come, when I
Oh,
get
that's
down
nice.
there, no, when we do the meetup, I'll bring you a bottle of Bear Flag.
Nice.
It's not like a terribly expensive wine. It's right in the middle, but it's about a $14 to $20 bottle depending on where you buy it. But
no, sure.
But it's like a more it's a more
Yeah.
local one, so you're not gonna find. You probably won't find it in the States.
Yeah, I mean,
As long as you don't, just don't ever drink great white.
A good
That stuff
bottle of
is
wine.
garbage.
A good
Thank
bottle of
you
wine
for
that's
rocks in your own
tasty,
house.
that's inexpensive. I mean, you should run you about $8 to $10 for an average bottle.
Steve, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. You're willing to pay $5. She's up to $15.
This is
I mean,
called
it's getting more
negotiation.
now.
She's willing
Who
to spend
buys a
more.
$5 bottle of wine?
I gotta spend the money for the
Yeah.
plane flight.
Does she get wine on the plane?
Hey, at least I didn't
Look,
offer her.
Steve,
Hang on.
Steve.
At least I didn't offer her Thunderbird people. Okay.
Look, you could tap dance on a corner like for 15 minutes and raise enough money to get a better bottle of wine. What is your excuse?
Have you guys ever had Thunderbird? Ozzy Globehead. Wow.
He had to
hang
spend
on.
it all
Super
on.
chat. Ozzy Globehead, 100 Australian, shouting a drink for everyone. All right, everybody drink. And I'm gonna go on camera for this real quick because.
All right.
Are we waterfalling?
Big super
Oh,
chat.
waterfall.
Hang on. Waterfalls. What is this? Chili juice?
Thank you very much for the.
Yeah, we can't use that term anymore.
Oh,
I
what
finished
water
mine.
booze. Oh, I'm not
Here's
finished mine.
here's my wine. It's nice and clear, and it's actually vodka.
All right, here we
My
go. Let's
Nice
do
and
it.
clear
Let's do
Dinner
it.
is opaque now.
God, that's so good, but Scotch is like a really good sipping drink. That's for damn sure, but it goes a long way. You must see what's got left of it.
Oh. My shit is
I'm
fiery
at
at full
I'm
cast.
at half the bottle.
I'm
It's
at
okay. I had half a bottle.
I'm at the
before.
bottom of the label.
You know what? You know what? This isn't actually that bad. Just straight vodka. Man.
Amsterdam.
No, I can't do vodka. Vodka is just not my
Mix
thing.
that
I don't
shit,
like
man.
vodka straight. Like I enjoy vodka, but not straight.
Yeah. No,
Actually,
if I'm gonna drink vodka, it's got to be like a White Russian or something.
The new Amsterdam raspberry vodka is actually really good.
I just got to see you
Raspberry,
close
I
up,
can't
and your
agree, is
lipstick is
amazing.
fucking fabulous.
Your lipstick's on point.
Right?
Thank you.
I wish my lipstick was that good. Fuck!
Yeah,
Chris.
Why does he look more like a girl
Chris.
than you right now?
Because he's better at it than I am.
Yes, take lessons
Because
from him.
he's fabulous. Fuck yeah.
Jess has spent all her life practicing drawing on paper, not on her face.
She's been a
That's
girl all her
fine.
life. She thinks she would have it down to an art form by now.
Wait.
That's
Yes.
sexist, Steve.
Can you draw that Reds mobile that you made for Reds on your face, maybe?
Me?
Oh, I'm sure Red paints her face plenty.
No, Chesh.
Hey,
Yeah,
guys,
they're
I gotta
talking
I gotta
about-
stream in 10
All right,
minutes.
we got
I
an incomer. So if you,
Oh.
so all right,
All
so
right,
go
yeah,
stream.
I'm gonna head out
Do
anyway.
me a favor, you and I, Rock, say
Yeah,
hi
Rock.
to your fans for me. Let them know everything's
do.
going good, and if they want to like see the computer system I got from some donors, they can go to my Facebook page, and it is a
Tell your
beast.
fans we love them.
We'll
Yes.
do.
Tell your
you and
fans
I,
we
Rock.
want to have sex with
Anytime.
all of them. Okay.
Oh,
Will do.
that's apparently
See you guys.
Steve just sexually harassed the entire
his entire audience.
If you don't have me on Twitter, add me. All right, see you.
All right, thanks, buddy.
All right, I'm also going to head out. So peace out, everyone. Chesh, love you. The rest of you, you're all right, except for Sweet. Holy shit.
I was gonna say,
Red, it's always.
This
nice
is turning into a three-way. We're gonna leave
even if
Steve
you
out.
even if you don't understand the glory of
I
violence.
don't care as long as you get it on video. That's all I asked for.
Listen. Listen, Chess, Sweet. I'm just letting you know, I got cameras and plenty of them. All right, peace out.
Yeah, high def. Rodent, no last name, $5. Been entertained by your channels for a while, and I now finally fully employed and have some spending money. Have some NASA show bucks, y'all. Thank you, Rodent.
NASA show books.
Thanks, man.
I like our Rum and Coke nights. I'm going to be doing these every Saturday, probably at the same time. Regardless of whatever happens on my channel with the science stuff, we are going to be doing Rum and Coke night because I think we all need it. But I'll have a bigger forum. I'll use Zoom and get it paid for and stuff like that. So
well, it's nice to just shoot the shit about things, right?
Yeah,
sometimes.
well, I like to have the updates, and there's always something going on in the week. So this is a good way to vent, and I think people do want to hear what's happening in the communities, and yeah.
I feel personally attacked now that Sean and Chris are both in here doing better at being
pretty,
being
people,
being girly.
I just have the voice.
Being people. Yeah. Okay, nice, Sean's got the voice. Chris has got the look and the hair, and I don't appreciate it.
Well, yeah. Sorry, you need to practice on the voice.
Nice studio voice there.
To get my radio voice on.
This is more like a public orgy. This is what we do.
You really don't want to go with the deep voice competition.
Shit!
Just say.
Are we going to be doing a deep voice competition?
Oh, do not forsake me.
I can't do it. This is about as low as I can go.
Don't do that.
None of you know how to go deep. No. Sorry.
Steve would know.
This is not going to go well for me.
Steve knows who can go deep.
I do know who can go deep and who can't. Why do you think I
know? Hey, Steve, you don't know my life.
Wait, let me rephrase that. I know who can take it deep and who can't.
Well, you know you can take it, but
it's the Scotch drink. It's the Scotch talking, by the way.
The Scotch is not the whole 2 fingers. So that's all Steve can handle is 2 fingers.
Somebody in the live chat was like, "You need to."
Apparently, he's got baby's fingers.
In the live chat was like,
"Yeah, right."
Somebody in the live chat was like, "Give me another finger." I'm like, "Giggity."
So I mean, if you're starting with 2.
So yeah, Steve says I'm going to pour myself a finger, and then he proceeds to put like a 2 postage stamp thickness of Scotch in his glass.
Yeah, this is a half a finger. I admit that. Well, I topped it off a little bit.
I had a good finger and a half, and I still don't feel fucking anything because that takes so fucking much to get me drunk. It sucks.
This is getting dangerously close to the conversation we had about sniffing corks one day.
I think we've all had a finger, haven't we?
Yeah, I can't exactly tell what's in of this anymore, but
they're mystery fluid. That's always fun.
Oh no, I know what it is. I just don't know how much is left and how much I've drank.
Yeah. We're approaching level 3.
Yeah, it's real fast. We're talking about fingering. We're definitely in level 3.
Is it logically possible to be fingered, Steve?
It is not only logically possible, but it's an absolute.
Only if you believe.
Could it be logically impossible if the fingers don't exist?
If you don't believe that you've been fingered, have you been fingered?
What kind of question is that, Landon? Oh my goodness!
Yeah. This is the premise 1. 1 finger, 2 finger. At least 2 fingers exist. There exists an external reality. There we go.
Well, there also has to be at least 1 hole, but there could be more.
But you could just be a
we did find the black hole.
This is taking a turn.
Never go full solipsism.
Never go full fingers. Never.
You need at least 3 fingers. We don't have to say where each finger goes.
That's true.
Minimum 3.
Yeah.
I agree. Minimum 3.
Do thumbs count as fingers?
I was gonna say never underestimate the power of the thumb.
Landon,
this case, they can because there's definitely a clampy.
Yeah, well,
option.
Landon, if the thumb's involved, they call that fisting.
No.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about picking somebody up like they're a bowling ball?
That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Absolutely. And the thing is that can go either way.
God damn, why are we live again? Let's just take the stream off fucking air.
Damn.
Hey,
Steve. Hey, Steve. Remember how you were talking about monetization earlier?
Yeah, that's done. I've already yellow.
Yeah, forget that.
It is yellow.
I think Steve wants to go off air and try for a 7-10 split.
Yeah, it's worth it. I don't give a shit about the monetization for this right now. This is epic.
So we're going to level 3 grappa.
Yeah, there we go. Are we gonna get a review of this one too?
Look at people are learning stuff in the live chat. They're saying this is educational and informative.
Yeah, we can put this under YouTube. What's the fucking called?
There is porn. There is porn actually on YouTube. There actually is. I mean, hardcore. You see everything in great detail, and it's under education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
That seems fair, though. I think it should be.
I got no issue with
I
it.
mean, is a teacher kink really educational?
No, they're talking more. They're talking more like educational and like this is like how to do massage work and stuff. Where they're
anatomy.
Just gonna be nudity.
Oh, it's more than nudity. It's full on.
Yeah, this is not a massage technique.
It depends on what you're trying to rub.
I was going to say.
It depends entirely on what you're trying to rub.
Yeah, you can massage a prostate really good that way.
John Rapp,
Cheers, John.
In Australia, we measure finger vertically.
If you're doing this, you're measuring tonsil strength.
Oh, we forgot to ask Sean what he's drinking. Everybody else.
Holy
shared.
shit! You reached up in there so far, you hit the tonsils. Holy fuck, man! I'm impressed.
What do you got, Sean? What are you drinking?
You know Muppet's secret now.
We'll just say that it's partially Crystal Light.
Crystal Light.
Crystal
Partially.
Light.
Partially.
Dude, that's so hardcore for us.
I know.
Landon's taking a sip.
Wow. I've got issues with alcohol, but I can act drunk. That's all that matters.
Landon, how is it?
Is it crystal meth? Is it crystal meth light?
No.
This is a really nice. This is a outstanding grappa.
This is an outstanding scotch, man. I'm telling you, this is like good. I feel like having a cigar, man.
I'm the guy that's always the designated driver that reminds people what they did while they were drunk, and I never let them live it down.
I've already got like a quarter finger, and it's already like mellow me, man. It's got the edge. Man.
I straight up refuse to be ashamed of anything I do while drunk. I just refuse. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
So it's
I reject your reality.
We'll be sure to save the video.
That's drunk you. That's why I look at.
Please, I send cringy enough shit. I send more cringy shit when I'm tired than what I do when I'm drunk.
Oh man,
just prove it.
When you're going on like day 2 or 3, no sleep.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yep.
Trump $2. YouTube. This is just locker room talk. Yeah, that's
pretty much.
It.
So
yeah.
So
I need to hear how Landon feels.
Anyway, so this is a Bassano Reserva, and it's 100 proof.
It sounds like it.
And it really is
100 proof.
That's what I started with, man.
Man, you guys are making your own. This is only 40.
But see, Landon's already got the slur going on.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Landon like drunk, man? He even drunk, he makes more sense than anybody else on the planet.
Oh, I'll grant you that.
Anyway, so you can see. I will make sure I'm talking here. You can see the label here. It
Don't
actually
mess
is
with
a
Landon.
really
He's
great.
hardcore.
It actually is a really great. And,
Look,
and so notes of. It's got a little bit of grapefruit going in there. It's got also caramel in there as well. So wow.
Oh man,
Landon, I love the way you've pronounced caramel.
I've got to say, Steve,
it fucking correctly.
Steve, Landon was telling me a story one day about going to film an eclipse or to observe an eclipse out on the ocean and doing mathematical calculations to figure out where the weather was going to be. And the last thing he decided to mention was the fact he was doing so because they were being chased by pirates.
Yes. Piracy is a real thing on the high seas.
Yes.
It's like lead with the fact that you're being chased by pirates though. Like that is definitely like that builds some tension for sure.
He lives a life most of us can only dream.
No kidding.
Hey Landon, you were just talking a moment ago about like the flavorings and what you're drinking there. Mm-hmm. There was this expose video that got put out by some news outlet a few years back where they not drinks like that, but wine. And they showed that it was nonsense, that like the, sommeliers or, whatever you call them, people that are experts about wine and saying, well, I taste this and I taste that. And then they gave these people like some $5 wine, from a box or something. And they were ranting and, raving about how great this wine was and what it had. And
price of wine doesn't actually determine whether or not you think it's good.
Spot on, Chef. That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's what I said before. Cheap wine could be good. Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing. Hold on. I may have
An
qualified
expensive wine can be terrible.
Well, right. I may have qualified it with money, but I don't. That wasn't the gist of it. It was that it was just average wine, but that they fooled these people.
Well, it's okay. So there's a thing where you start running into some problems immediately as soon as you say average wine, because taste is so subjective. Subjective that these people who are basically conning, who are these wine testers, because there are cons in this industry, not all of them, but there are cons in this industry, and because taste is so subjective, there's a matter of being able to define your palate, which is essentially the same as a chef. If you're good enough, you're going to be able to tell the difference, but there's also somebody's not necessarily going to be able to tell the difference between grapes that have come from Spain and grapes that have come from Ontario, Canada. They're not they're going to taste different, but you're going to have to be high tier to be able to tell the difference. And you know what doesn't change? The price, because the price is not relevant, because it depends on where you're buying it. That depends on how much it costs. So there is a reason why I suggested bringing Bear Flag to Sweet, not because it's expensive, because I think it's something she would like.
Okay. Now wait, I got a story. I got a story. Kimono says, how drunk enough to be listening to Barry Manilow's Copacabana. That's how drunk, by the way. I like the song, and I got a story about that. You guys want to hear a really fucking interesting story? Yes, you do, because it's Rum and Coke night. True story. So I was at Circuit City for a couple years, service manager in the computer department, Soho of it, and Barry Manilow was a customer of mine for computers. And one day he came in to buy a big screen TV, and the guy that was helping him, ex-recon Marine, didn't know who he was, right? And Barry Manilow hands over this black American Express card. Or what I think it was American Express. I don't remember if it was black or not. I think it was, but I'm like off to the side kind of thing. And he hands him an American Express card, and he's trying to. It's kind of worn. He can't read the name, and he's typing it in the computer, because when you sold something, you type the name in for the delivery and all that stuff. And he's like, he's like, how do you spell your last name? He's like Manilow, and he's like typing it in. He's fucking it up. He's like, how is it again? Barry Manilow, Manilow. He got it wrong like 3 times, and finally, Barry Manilow leaned over to this guy, whispered in his ear. He goes, "What do I fucking have to do? Sing Copacabana in your ear?"
Anyway,
so there are things that I wouldn't mind having sung in my ear.
Yeah, I was thinking, fuck yeah, or at least a little Mandy or something. Yeah.
So Chess, outstanding rant on wine. One of the things I was quite surprised in when I was in the Montreal area was just how difficult it was to find Canadian wine.
Yeah. Really?
I go to a grocery store and see pride of Canada and these vegetables, but you go to like the wine section, you go to a restaurant and say, because you understand, according to free trade, or the free trade is done, you don't get Canadian wines in the United States.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I found one restaurant in my searches that has a sizable wine list that has one wine that's not that ice wine stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I going to Canada and say, hey, I'm in Canada, at least I can get some Canadian wines.
So
I found just a couple, right? They just say, well, where. And I was bugging the Canadian minister I was talking to about how come I can't find Canadian.
Can we apply the radio rules to wine? That'd be great.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? Is when you come down here, I'll take you down to Bishop's Cellar, And
Okay, hold on.
It's not the
No. If you want to give Landon a good wine run, like a good wine run, he needs to be in Niagara.
Yeah, that's true. There's good wines there, but we actually have quite a few of them at Bishop Cellar. There are a lot of Canadian wines there.
You can't compare a cellar to like 7 vineyards.
That's the name of the place. It's not a actual cellar.
Okay.
I think you've had a little bit much, Chesh.
By the way, I'm having this special kind of I'm having a special kind of Rice Krispie right now. We'll see what happens in an hour from now.
Allegedly.
It's a really special kind of Rice Krispie.
What, you didn't already eat that?
Was it made with love?
It's made with love. Yeah, there's definitely some love in this. Like a lot of love I can taste.
But anyway, so
Yes.
some of my best wines I've had is from the Okanagan Valley in British Columbia. The Pinots are just fantastic there.
So the thing is with wine, if you're talking about wine in this area, not only is this Nova Scotia, where there is no flatland, it's all rocks and hills.
We have some good wine. They're high rated.
That's fine. I'm not telling you you're not bad. I'm saying that if you want Landon to try good wine, he needs to not be here. One of the things that I've noticed is done in restaurants in Ontario as well as in Nova Scotia is that they don't tend to supply they'll supply like the direct local wine, but they won't supply like Canadian wine. Right? Shame. In Ontario, there's an entire row dedicated to wines that are from Ontario because Ontario has a lot of vineyards. Nova Scotia doesn't have that. I was in the LC earlier today. That's not a thing.
You won't get it in the LC. You have to go to the private wineries. That's why I said like Bishop Cellar, places like that. They have a lot of the local wines. There's a few that are really expensive.
I feel like
that are
you're
really
not
like high
listening
shelf.
to what I said.
Yeah, well.
So there's a difference between going to the LC and finding in Ontario and finding the rack and going and doing a vineyard walk. You can go and do a fucking go around and go to all the vineyards. You can't do that in Nova Scotia. It's not
Yes,
the
you
same.
can. There's vineyards in Bear River. There's vineyards in Lunenburg.
Oh my fucking god!
Good,
David.
I mean, so how are there vineyards or wines from all the Canadian provinces? Can I go to Nunavut or Northern Territory?
I don't know if there's any vineyards in Nunavut.
Not before
I'm just going to say,
no.
just as a third party, I'm just going to say that Chesh made sure to say that you didn't have bad wine. But if you want good wine, you got to go over here.
Well, what I said was that there's not as much. The quantity is not as much. The thing is that there are very different landscapes, so you're going to get very different kinds of wine. And I'm not saying that you can't do a vineyard run here, but there's a very big difference between doing a vineyard run in Nova Scotia and doing one in fucking Ontario, where that's where all the vineyards are.
Oh, I haven't seen that there's even Prince PE wines.
Yes, there's absolutely wines in every province. But if you go to Niagara Falls and you go to the Toronto area, you can do a fucking day and do a loop and hit like 7. Like, they're all there, and you're going to get very different wines depending on where you go. That's just not the case here. There is not a section of Canadian wine. There's not a Nova Scotia section in the alcohol store here. It's just not a thing. Oh my god!
It's kind of like I think what Chesh is getting at is kind of like how in like Kentucky, right? There is fucking bourbon everywhere, right? I'm in Iowa right now, and there is an Iowa distillery, Cedar Ridge, which is really good, right? They make decent bourbon, but they have to ship it to Kentucky to make it called bourbon to make the aging
bourbon
process.
has to be from Kentucky. Just like Scott.
Thank you for understanding me.
Yeah, just like certain types of Scott, like Irish whiskey, has to be from.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Nova Scotia doesn't produce wine.
Right.
I'm saying that there's
we get it. We get it, Chesh.
But anyway, it is a shame that in the United States it is virtually impossible to find Canadian wine other than the ice wine stuff. I mean, that's
that is sad.
And free trade made it even harder to get.
Do you guys
Really?
Like, do you guys like sake?
Yeah.
Free trade means
sake.
It codifies how the countries screw each other, right?
Yep.
Right.
And so the California, Oregon, Washington lobby group basically made it very difficult for Canadian wines to go.
So is that because the groups are too big, or is that because the tax on it isn't good enough?
Because they contribute to the right senators and members of Congress.
Yes.
Okay. So it's political money.
Oh, it's totally
Hey, Landon, let me ask you something. You know, if you're a wine connoisseur, like because I haven't been into wine in years, like how much to get a good quality bottle of wine? What's it going to run you nowadays?
Well, I mean, I've had some outstanding wines that have been $2.
I've had Sierra Mist, and I like that.
Yeah, but that was a divorce settlement, right? There's a guy named Charles Shaw, who the divorce settlement said that his ex-wife gets all the proceeds, and he proceeded to sell this fantastic wine for $2 a bottle. It's called $2 Chuck. And it was outstanding wine because essentially he wanted to make a loss and make sure his ex-wife didn't get any. Right?
Yeah.
I've had stuff that's foraged wines that have not been very good. So price is not necessarily a measurement of quality. Now, if most of your stuff that is a couple of bucks tastes like a couple of bucks, but again, price is not necessarily a measurement of quality; it's a measurement of marketing.
Price there is a line. There's like a medium, right? And inside of this middle area, you're gonna get if you get a $10 bottle of wine, you've got a $10 bottle of wine, and sometimes you can find to your palate something that is going to be a good wine. It doesn't really matter. You're gonna like what you're gonna like. You might like people who like the movie Demolition Man, like me, don't like a good movie. It's fun to watch, but it's not a good movie.
Can I get a point of order in? Because
Hey, don't say that. Demolition Man is amazing.
Let me get a point of order in. On a Rum and Coke night, I don't think it's possible to have too much, and if it is, the limit would probably where Macabre was the other night. If you're not at the Macabre level, you're okay.
All I'm going to say, people are still conscious, so they haven't reached too much yet.
I don't know that would mean to be.
To clarify, though, I only said that Chesh had too much because she said she would fight whoever said that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible on a Rum and Coke night to have too much, unless you're Macabre. Love you, Macabre. He's in a world. He's in a class of his own.
The most heated the two Canadians have ever been at each other is about whose province makes the better fucking booze.
Okay, well, listen. Okay, that's not a competition. If you're about to tell me that Nova Scotia makes better wine,
you too. Get a room. Oh wait, you're already in it.
I would vote for British Columbia in terms of
you'd probably be right, Landon.
Super chat.
No, beer. How about pop beer?
Hang on.
Who has the preference for beer?
Hang on.
I want to lay the comments to rest on wine because I have to go. I have work tomorrow. But I just wanted to say that I am a very cheap wine man. I get a $7 750 ml Arbor Mist raspberry wine.
Right.
Chug the thing in 15 minutes and start singing French, and I don't know French.
I love that.
Can you please send me a bottle? Because I would like to try it.
Arbor Mist is
I've
good.
never had Arbor Mist.
It's so
I've never had raspberry.
The raspberry one, it's soda. It's fucking
the
delicious.
lightest, most like the fruitiest summer wine you could possibly have.
Hang on.
And it's so cheap.
Theistic Luciferian, $2. I just church hop Sunday and get a free shot of wine. They don't give you a full shot.
That's good.
Sarah, what do you got? What are you drinking in the mid-afternoon, your time zone?
Coffee.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm drinking coffee.
How'd you get in here with only
I'm
coffee?
in my break.
No, do you understand that alcohol actually probably makes you smarter because it helps you deal and cope with the fuckery that we have to deal with all the time?
Yeah.
You'll learn.
It definitely does. I don't think it will make me more productive.
Yeah, little Padawan, you'll learn. Trust me. Come back in about 2 years after being on the YouTube. You'll be like, "Fuck, give me that goddamn bottle."
So best beer in Canada from what province?
Okay, so
I put Arbor Mist in the chat. I'm gonna head out, y'all.
All right,
Peace
thank you, buddy.
out. I love you.
Have a good night.
No, I like Arbor Mist.
Good
I really
night.
do. I like Boone's Farm Strawberry Hill too.
So there's something there's a beer that I enjoy that's called Wellington County. And the reason why I like it is because it's very malleable. And if you go to some local pubs, they will serve it in one of two ways. Either they'll serve it warm and flat, or they'll serve it cold and fizzy. Both are good, but it depends on what you want, and it's a dark ale. So if you enjoy dark ale specifically, it is very good. The problem with beer is that beer is very, very specific depending on like what kind of ale do you like. If you're drinking Coors Light, don't even at me.
Yeah, no, that's like if you see it on a commercial, it's probably garbage. Is what it
You're
comes down to.
already garbage.
TV beers don't count. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of microbreweries here that have some really good stuff that I do like.
I haven't tried the microbreweries here. I haven't found the local yet, and I want to try it.
Yeah, we'll have to go and try.
I can't wait to see your guys' show. I cannot wait for the slippery slope. Yes. I hate the fact you made this name. Slippery Nipple Show.
He's gonna blame our name and not the scotch.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Cheshire, I had you say that 5 times fast one night. Can you say it 5 times fast tonight?
Yeah, slippery slope show, slippery slope show, slippery slope show, slippery slope show, slippery slope show.
You suck.
There you go.
I'm impressed.
Do you want me to go get my book?
The book.
So how much alcohol do you have to have, Chess, before you start slurring?
More than this. I'm at about half. I'm at about half the bottle.
Was that? Wait,
And
was that?
if
Wait, hang on. Hang on. Was that newly opened?
Yes, I've had the whole bottle.
Okay.
Oh, one person took a sip of it so far. That's it. It's just.
Right. Well,
if I'm gonna get like sloshed, I have to drink about a bottle and a half.
Yeah, that's what it would take for me.
Yeah.
Roughly.
David is just trying to keep up.
For me, I'd have to drink a bottle.
Trying to keep up. My bottle is empty.
For me, I'd have to drink a bottle and a half of vodka, though. You guys are drinking wine.
I run into this problem where once upon a time I was legitimately an alcoholic. Like I was drinking 36ers in one sitting and a half. Like I think the most I drank in one night was I drank a 36er of vodka. I finished off a 36er of rum and coke of like a spiced rum, like a Captain Morgan spiced rum that was 2/3 of the way full, and I drank half a bottle of Zambuca because the other girl drank the other half, and I drank a couple of beers.
Hey,
that was
Steve.
the one and only night I ever fell over drunk. And in my defense, I stepped into a ditch that I didn't know was there.
Hey, Steve.
My boyfriend at the
Fair enough.
time, I went to go check. I went to go check on the guy.
Check your external hangouts.
All right.
I went to go check on a guy that I was with at the time, and I opened the truck and I checked on him. He was fine because he went to go take a nap because he just worked a 12-hour shift. I closed the door and I stepped back and legitimately just stepped into a ditch that I did not know was there because it was all long grass.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
In my
hang
defense.
on. We have something important to show here.
Okay.
Apparently, Flat Earth Aussie Jesus had a minor issue with Christopher wearing lipsticks, to which I actually derided him in chat, saying, yes, he is wearing lipstick, and I've got the second largest boobs in the room. And he apparently doesn't believe me, so
I think you actually have the largest because you're a 44 double D.
40
Yeah,
double D.
no,
40 double D.
probably.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Sweet Heathen's got me beat, but I don't know for sure. But there you go. There they are.
I'm on a 36 double D.
Okay, so I got
you. You win.
Sorry, I thought I was second, so I've got the biggest boobs in the room.
What a stupid thing.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about Ross here. What do you expect?
Now
what a stupid thing is a pretty good description of Ross.
He told me to prove it. Now he's saying don't prove it.
Yeah. Well, Flat
Aussie Jesus, does Cheshire Vicks lipstick trigger you too?
No, they're not silicone.
Okay, first off, I don't have lipstick on.
Don't?
No, I have a lip liner, which is not the same thing.
And I have lip balm
on. It is not. It's not the same thing at all. So.
And secondly, not only did I just dab it and shape a little bit, but it is also supposed to be like a more muted color.
By the way, any motherfuckers that say my hangouts aren't tonight diverse, they need to fucking come to a Rum and Coke night.
Straight up wrong.
This is about the most cross-sectional thing of YouTube we could possibly ever get.
I will point out that no one actually has had Rum and Coke.
We just need a flat earther.
Yeah, no, the Rum and Coke is a lie. Like that's.
Well, I actually have rum and Pepsi, but I decided because we were going fancy tonight because of what Steve brought, I bought wine instead.
Yeah, fancy.
I thought the cake is a lie.
I found earrings.
The cake is a lie.
The cake is a lie.
Actually, no, the cake isn't a lie because if you go through the back.
Don't spoil it. Don't do it.
No spoilers. Come on now, yeah.
I haven't finished the second one yet.
No, it's not a spoiler for the second one. It's a spoiler for the first one if you go a specific way. It's like a secret ending. There is legitimately... GLaDOS legit made a cake, but you have to find it.
I don't want the cake. Maybe I'll eat the cake.
You'll like the second one, Steve. Steven Merchant does a great job.
I've had GeoStreamer try to get me on Portal 2 for
Me and Steve are gonna play. We're gonna play the co-op together, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to screeching.
We should live stream it. I want to watch that.
Actually, since you're on that topic, Steve, how far into Witcher 3 are you?
Okay, first of all, I want to go back to talking about playing with Chesh, but Witcher 3, I'm at the point where at the near the very end, you have a choice to make kind of thing, and it tells you this is going to be a big decision. You can't go back and finish stuff. I made it past that. But I still have a very, very long ways to go, I think. Because I've still got the expansion packs to do.
Yeah, I'm actually started on the 2 expansion packs. I'm actually giving up on the more high level one because even at the appropriate level, you're not ready for it. Just giving you warning there. Things will one-shot you without a problem.
Yeah, there's some cheating stuff. I haven't cheated. I play
okay, if you're in The Witcher, if you're in The Witcher, then there's a couple of different ways you can play the game, right? You can go full aggro, or you could be like, "Fuck you, I have the best weapons."
Yeah, no, I'm playing.
Or you can go magic, right? And you learn the mind control and the beast control and shit. And then there's a third way, which means you don't have to level shit, and you just learn what everything is weak against, and you fucking put all the oils on your sword, and you just slap a bitch in the face.
Just people want to know if portals is a euphemism, like sexual euphemism for something.
Yes.
Okay. There you go. Well, that just killed everything. Everybody's thinking about that going, I like that. Sweetie even turned her camera off, so she's even like,
Sweet, no, don't abandon me.
She won't leave you, no.
I can hope.
She likes you most of all.
I can dream.
Don't we all?
Sweet dreams.
Oh.
Are they made of these? And who am I to disagree?
That wine is kicking in for you.
But
a little bit.
Yeah,
You're saying
I don't see any goats. I see no goats here.
You're saying this like I wouldn't have made that reference anyway.
Yeah. Well, welcome to a Rum and Coke night.
Yeah, that's the way that Rum and Coke night goes.
Yeah, it's funny because our last one we had, it was very different from our normal thing, and so this
wasn't it? It was. It was almost somber.
Yeah, this one's much more our normal type of Rum and Coke night, and we have much more people watching. So hopefully they kind of like this type of.
Yeah, I mean sometimes we get into some deeper philosophy stuff and deeper topics, but.
Well, I mean, we can talk about that Aron article that you made read before I came on.
Oh yeah.
I was just about to ask you though, Steve. You had a list in the video.
Yeah, I forgot we didn't get to that. Yeah, well, we talked about it to the Patreon hangout, which was.
Chris is gonna shit a brick if he hasn't read this yet.
I'm going to talk for a minute on.
Oh, I've read it.
I'm gonna turn over to Chris. By the way, Chris, I love that hand thing that you got. That's.
Oh, the net.
Yeah,
totally.
Is that what is that? Is that like a sleeve or is that like a?
Yeah, it's a tie-on sleeve. Yeah.
So you got a full corset thing. Oh, you do have a full corset. I've seen it.
No, that shit's hot.
Yeah. Chris is actually one of the very few that has sent me unsolicited picture for whatever reason. I don't know why. He actually sent it to a whole group.
I did more than send it to a whole group. I sent it publicly over Twitter to Ken Ham.
There you go.
Ooh.
Yeah,
nice arm sleeve, dude.
So people had said, oh God, Donald Trump, Jesus, spending all your money from the taxpayers. Guys, I'm back. Melania won't stop snoring. Yeah, roll her over on her stomach. So so Aron made this.
Oh, you're lying, Donald. You don't sleep in the same room.
Yeah, she's in a different room. You know they don't sleep in the same bed.
I don't even think they sleep in the same building.
She's out of the air. She doesn't sleep in the same Washington D.C. area. She's like in.
I
in
think
New
they
York.
don't sleep in the same city.
Yeah, if she had her way, they wouldn't sleep on the same planet probably. But okay, so Aron made. Everybody knows by now. Aron wrote an article, which he for some reason decided to be passive aggressive, and code the name of the person to which he was referring to, which was as Mr. Agnostic, which I don't know who possibly that could be. I'm just at a loss. But numerous people have sent it to me, and the basically the consensus was, holy shit, what the hell? Aron needs to fucking go to college, get education on this topic, and stop talking about philosophy, because
it almost made me want to write my own video and like a script. And I'm a layman. Like, Steve knows more than I do. Like, Nick knows more than I do. I honestly think this should be one of the ask a philosopher things, that it would not necessarily be a bad idea for you guys to pre-record and script out a video and actually go through.
Yeah, no,
this thing.
we're gonna do something like that. Now we might do it live, we might do it pre-recorded, but we'll address it at some point. I've just got so many other things going on this week. But Chris had read it. He turned off the camera. You still there, Chris? Chris.
Yeah, I read it too.
You read it. So what you? You're not even a philosopher type dude, although you understand the concepts. But how?
It was. Yeah.
Look at Landon sigh. I don't like seeing Landon sigh. You know there's trouble when Landon goes.
What's wrong, Landon? What's wrong? Tell us what's wrong.
Yeah, maybe actually, I admire him for some things he does, but that article is not one thing I would admire him for.
It was just bad. It was just.
Yeah, I read it today.
And Sarah, you know about these topics. You are on board with the whole thing, and I know that you do subscribe to philosophy.
I think I think the mistake that Aron is making, and it's funny because he mentions Matt Dillahunty in the article, and Matt Dillahunty so many times have argued with theists and said when they bring up dictionary definitions. Matt Dillahunty always makes clear dictionaries they give common usages of words.
Yeah,
they're not. And exactly, I was saying, what is Aron pulling off with the?
Because he thinks they're prescriptive. Aron is under the weird.
No, he picked.
No, he does.
Well,
he does.
He argued
I don't know if he
think
thinks
it's
they're
prescriptive.
He does. Hang on. I've known Aron a very long time. I've seen him way back in the day when he was on The Place and NGC Studios with Dr. Jones and other people, and he has the same shtick. But he thinks that there is a, by definition, that is prescriptive, that these are what the words, not how they're being used, as Sarah pointed out, not generally, typical colloquial or general uses. He thinks that when you read a dictionary, it's defining the word to be that.
So you mentioned off air that
just real quick though. I was trying to get in a minute ago. I just wanted to ask Landon real quick. Landon, could you show us on the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy where Aron touched you?
Listen,
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Landon,
Philosophical harassment.
If anybody touches Landon, they're gonna have to deal with me.
Yeah.
Oh, you want so you want a threesome with Landon?
Sea chess.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Fuck off.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't blame you.
I think the best example for Aron to understand this stuff is Bertrand Russell, because Bertrand Russell was kind of the same thing. He used to call himself an atheist to the general public, but in academia he was agnostic, because there is this. When you're talking about philosophy in academia, words. You can't just simply change meanings of words. It's the same for any science. If you start changing definitions, the whole thing becomes unintelligible.
Well, throughout Aron's entire article, he crosses definitions.
Yeah, he mixes a lot of stuff up. But I'm gonna take what Sarah said, but I'm gonna just modify a little bit. It's not so much changing definitions. It's It's misunderstanding the usages that are commonly used in the
It's faith and faith. It's theory and theory. It's the exact same thing he
It's
bitches
equivocation.
about.
It's equivocation. It's equivocation.
The same thing he bitches about that Kent Hovind does.
Right.
That creationists use.
Yeah, that's
that
what
evolution is
the
just a theory.
But-
It's the
Christian
same
apologetics has always
thing.
been about doing that.
But Aron is a political person because he's the regional director.
That's fine, but don't
Yeah.
write an aggro as
hang
fuck
on.
article.
I'm not justifying him. I'm explaining it. He is indoctrinated, and I'm using that word very specifically because it is a form of indoctrination to believe a very specific way. He literally believes he's correct in all this, even though every expert has told him he's wrong. He said he has one philosopher that agrees with him. I try to get that philosopher's name because he's welcome to come on any time. But
right?
But Dr. Graham Oppie was just on Capturing Christianity's channel. He's been on this channel
And
before.
Ozzy.
What's really funny is I've talked to both of you about this. Like I've talked to you, Steve, about Aron, and Aron about Steve, and you're like mirror images of one another. Like it's
but here's one difference, Dave. Ask for him for citations. He'll give you a dictionary.
I know, but like it's like his thing is that you're not looking at when he gave you the older dictionary thing. He was trying to point out that like
he read the
common
dictionary.
usage has
No.
been there.
Hang on,
longer than the.
First of all, he gave me the dictionary. He gave me disproved what he was saying.
I know.
That was the funniest thing. He misread what he thought he was reading. I explained it to him. He finally got that, but I was like, dude, you're citing something, and you're not reading it correctly, and you're citing SEP, you're not reading it correctly. He doesn't have the skill set to understand what he's reading.
You're definitely. All I'll say is this: you're definitely both reading it differently.
No shit.
And
thank you for that brilliant observation, David. What would I do without you?
But
I'm concerned that Aron is doing his due diligence.
Hey, you guys got hang on, Dave. You guys got to stop. You guys, I don't know how you're going to do a show together when all you do is crosstalk. You guys are really bad.
Me and
at it.
David fight constantly.
Oh my god, you guys must be related like brothers and sisters.
It must be a Canadian
Fight me,
thing.
bro.
We're the same person.
But shouldn't they be saying I'm sorry all the time?
Yeah, I never heard one.
Yeah, that's because we're both Canadian.
Yeah, they don't care. All right,
Yeah,
Chef, you go.
They apologize professionally.
And then,
So there's a couple. Well, I was reading that there were a couple of issues. Not only was there the cross pollination of like, oh well, means this, and therefore this means this, but he's talking about two different fucking definitions, and that only annoyed me because of how much he bitches about faith. I love Aron. I've watched Aron shit for years, and to watch him do this about a different topic is infuriating because I get it. And the reason why I get it is because I went out of my way to ask Steve and talk to... there's a fucking live stream on Facebook you can go find of me talking to not just Steve, but Ozzy to understand what the fuck is going on with this shit, because this shit's out of my depth.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't get this because Aron, and again, I will say this for the record, I have a lot of respect for Aron.
Aron didn't cite a single one of his sources.
Let me finish.
He said he had
Let
sources.
Me finish.
No.
Aron, I respect. He does creationism very well. I do consider him a friend. He might have issues with me only because of this particular topic, but like you said, he doesn't bring anything to the table on it. He gets everything wrong. He has no citations. He does it by faith. But more importantly, he's come to me in the past asking me my opinion on certain things dealing with physics and other things with other people. Like, for example...
He's going to hate that you said he does it by faith.
Hang on. Well, it's true, though. It is by faith. He has it by faith. He has no evidence to support it, and he has nothing that substantiates it other than what he has heard through the grapevine, through other people.
He's gonna hate that, though.
But it's true. But,
No.
for example,
That's not the point. The point is that if he's as good as he claims he is, which I hope that he is, which I want him to be,
Yes.
he will do that.
Yeah, so let me finish on this. So he's asked me, like in King Crocoduck and some other people, like reviews from his videos, and we've always had a really good professional understanding that he respects me as a layperson to get my opinion on things. But on this particular topic, he has never once came to me and said, let's have a discussion off air of this, you and I, about it. And that to me is very telling. Right? He doesn't want to learn it. And I know he's had discussion on air with Ozzy about this. Ozzy creamed him. And he thought he did really well. And I'm like, anybody who thinks that Aron did well in that discussion with Ozzy, it just doesn't understand any of this because Ozzy obliterated him on this particular topic. Everything he said was just so much spot on.
I kind of hope that the Mr. Agnostic isn't you.
What is me? No, it's me.
Because, well, I know it is, but I kind of hope it isn't. You know what I mean? So if Ozzy is the one who destroyed him, right, then that's not to say that you didn't. It's just to say that there are different targets. And the thing is that there's something about saying, I'm going to call this person Mr. Agnostic, which is something that you had mentioned earlier. Like, you had mentioned in tweets that this was kind of passive-aggressive. This article isn't passive-aggressive. This article is aggressive.
Yeah. No, the article's aggressive, but him calling me Mr. Agnostic is...
If he had mentioned you once, that would have been passive-aggressive. But he mentions you throughout the article and claiming you're doing things you're not. To make the assertion that... Even fuck his sources, whatever the fuck. Let's even say that you're wrong. And let's even say that he has these sources that he can cite to you. Fine. But to go ahead and say that you're harming the atheist movement, which, by the way, should not be a movement because it's not a cohesive thing. Atheism isn't a cohesive thing. It's not designed to be because you can have an opinion about God that has nothing.
Well, that's why I think
the
movement. First of all, Kawasa has a super chat. Phylogeny is phylogeny. Philosophy is philosophy. Aron's awesome when he sticks to the former. Yeah, but here's the thing. Look at
bite me.
You're definitely right. Okay, you're definitely right. But no, I read that super chat and I forgot I was going to go with it. Aron, unfortunately, like I said, just has to maintain that narrative, and he has to try to come after me personally for whatever reason. He has to try to attack me, making it appear to his echo chamber, the group of people that already agree with him and that probably will never change to look into it. He has to point out to them some things that I don't believe. He said things in there that I don't stand for. Right.
Well, maybe
the thing that I take objection to with the Mr. Agnostic comment is that it's pretty disrespectful to call the Pope Mr.
That's true. He should kiss my ring.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what he thought that was going to achieve because I wrote a blog about him, but I used his real name and I cited my evidence for it.
But it's so politically motivated, it seems, right? And
he admitted that, though. He admitted that the whole atheist thing.
Yeah, but not just for Aron, but for a lot of atheists, it's very politically motivated.
Sure.
And I understand the reason that that's the case. It's easy to lose sight of the fact that atheists were shit on for a long time, right? In the same, there's lots of groups of people have been shit on for a long time. And so there's, I get why they want to normalize it.
Look at,
I get it.
It's a valid argument. I know genetically modified skeptic uses this argument. Dr. Paul Draper and SCP uses this argument, where he says, look, there are people that are using atheists for political agendas. David Silverman has talked about it before. That's not a conspiracy thing. So at least Aron admitted to that, because I've said that for a while, and people have actually said, look at Steve, he's a conspiracy theorist, think there's some big movement to try to normalize atheism and change the definition. There is. I mean, even Aron recognizes this in the blog. This is not some super secret.
And you know what? I'm okay with that. But I feel like if you're going to be the group that's trying to normalize yourselves as skeptics and smart people who care about facts, then maybe you should adjust your facts and normalize the facts.
Well, I agree with you. This is why I said to Cheshire,
hold on.
Wait a second. It's not about atheism. What I tried to do is I want people to be better critical thinkers. If that leads them to atheism, more power to them. But atheism is not something that I would rally around as a huge movement, because it's just one thing. It's just I don't.
I mean, secular humanism, maybe. That has at least
but that's a philosophy, though. That's why.
Yeah, well, fair.
Okay,
fair.
Yes.
So hold on. There's a separate issue here, because Aron specifically in his article brings up that you're harming atheism because of your definitions.
Yes.
Which not only at no point has Steve gone out of his way to say that you have to use my definition. Right. He's just defining it in a different way and explaining there's a different way to look at things, which is more nuanced, which is
He's
fine.
not even defining it in a different way. He's defining it in a different context.
Fucking whatever. Besides that, doesn't matter. Point being that if you have such offense to this, if you have such an issue with this shit, that it is a goddamn problem that he's defining it differently, and therefore maybe just change your definition to goddamn agnosticism, you fucker.
That's what Chris has done. I mean, like, everybody in here is, I think they're all non-believers, and
this isn't rocket science.
Hang on, most people that watch my channels are atheists or non-believers of some sort. I have some theists, but like Chris understands the difference between agnostics and atheists, and I know
Chris
Sarah
is a
does.
Smart guy.
The problem I just have with Aron is that when he says I'm splitting the community, I resent that only for the fact that why is having an education of how properly things are done in the academic literature and in the scholarly works and in the papers, how is that splitting a community? What the fuck is wrong with that?
Because of the political agenda, Steve. That's
Okay, fair enough, but I'm not involved in the political agenda.
You are not.
I think it's
you are
stupid.
Talking about this academic.
I think it is.
Because
Let me finish.
I
think it's actually stupid to have a political movement based around misinformation.
Hey guys.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I agree.
Fair.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Steve.
And
Your goal
I
is
think
to
it's
correct
something
people. Education.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, that's
it's
fine.
something that you have said, Steve. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
It's something that you have said about there is this whole political narrative among many atheist groups that atheists don't have any burden of justification for their position. And that is in my opinion, an intellectually lazy position that many atheists have. And that is a political narrative. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I think
it's funny
that's why they think you might be harming the
The
community.
whole laxiest thing.
Yeah, but it's
if
funny.
you think that education is harming your community, you're the problem.
Right, that's how I look at it as well. Because these are concepts, these are topics, and it is how it actually is in college.
I understand that Aron wants to create a political movement. That's fine, and having more atheists and having more people. But they're the ones
demonizing me and by saying
they're the ones
I'm wrong when I'm not.
Right. Exactly. They're the ones who picked the atheist heading. They're the ones who chose this. They could change it to agnostic and be able to add the atheists into that. But instead, they've gone the other way.
Or just go non-theist.
I totally believe. I totally believe.
I'm fine with the label atheist.
I'm convinced that if they would adopt the more philosophical versions of these things, atheism would probably be a much stronger movement if that's their goal, because it gives them a lot more power against the theist.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand why they want to have the weaker versions, because in the eyes of the theist, it doesn't do them it doesn't help their arguments or anything.
Well, the reason is because
absolutely.
The reason is because these are the same people that have the opinion that if you only lack a belief, you don't have to provide any justification.
Yeah, which it says bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
And Arno's article, at one point,
real quick before anyone goes on though, Sweet Heathen had her hand up.
Okay, so let me say this real quick. Then Sweet has the floor. Everybody, shut the fuck up. All right, so he says in the article something to the effect that he doesn't believe God exists, but he doesn't believe God does not exist. Something to that effect. And then later on, he says something about God's not existing. I mean, he has outright said all gods are bullshit. And then he has the audacity to say, well, I'm not saying I believe there's no gods. The fuck you aren't. I know Aron. He believes there are no gods. Simple as that. He is a hardcore atheist in all aspects of the words. For him to default into this, I just merely do not have a belief bullshit. Not even Matt Dillahunty would do that. Well, he does it on camera, but when he's off camera, I think that he'll admit that there's no gods. He has in his older videos.
Well, I'll have something to say after Sweet Heathen goes.
Yeah, okay. Sweet Heathen, you have the entire floor, girl. You go.
Oh.
I will white box you if I have to.
But based on what you said, so about him, so I was watching or listening to some things, and it auto-played one of his debates, or a more recent one, and he was talking totally fine, his usual owning the opponent style kind of thing, and I was like, all right, this is great. But then the theist brought up the whole definitional argument about the word atheist, what it means, And Aron got, I hate using the word, but he got clearly triggered. It was, he went off his, he wasn't making sense to his arguments. He was committing all sorts of fallacies, just saying, this is a definition, this is a definition. And he was cutting him off. And from that point on, the rest of the debate was horrible. It was great up until that point.
Was that with Tyler Vega?
As soon as that came up, it became
that was Tyler Vela?
Go ahead.
Was that with Tyler?
I didn't see what it said. It just
I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my bucket list. I will watch it.
But probably you'll see. It was recent. I saw the date anyways. But it was really bizarre to me, and it was hurtful because like for someone like him that normally very focused on the facts, for that one area to be such a problem, like I don't understand. Like, what's the huge deal with that? Why can't you just focus on and acknowledge that it's used differently in this different context?
I don't think he.
Arguing that it's all this deal. He said it's Huxley and everything that he just completely tore it down.
Yeah, I don't think he accepts that though. I don't think he said. First of all, Adam Moore said $2. Is it unironic? Don't you think? Yes. By the way, a lot of stuff in that song wasn't irony, but I don't think he accepts there are other definitions. To him, by listening to him, he thinks that it is one thing only. Anything else other than that is being intellectually dishonest, which is in himself being intellectually dishonest, because that's bullshit.
Right, but he acted like he had some knowledge of why that was wrong, but he didn't speak on it. And when he was challenged on it, it seemed like he was moving on and he was trying to shift.
He doesn't like being challenged on it because he doesn't like being challenged on it because he doesn't have any academic citations to back it up, and he'll just default to a dictionary. And yet, even linguists have explained to him how the mistakes he's making, the etymological fallacies he's making, the mistake of assuming that a dictionary is telling you how to use a word. It doesn't. It tells you how a word is being used. There's a huge difference between those two statements. I mean, if you say something, if I say, hey, Landon, x0 factorial is equal to 1 by definition, we know that it's by definition because mathematicians have got together and said, we are going to make 0 factorial equal 1. It's a synthetic thing. They just said, we need this to be equal to 1.
It's that because we say so.
Because they say so, because it works better for Taylor series, it works better for a few other things like gamma functions or whatever, but you have, there's a reason why they had to mathematically define it that way. And so when you say 0 factorial equals 1 by definition, that makes sense. When you say like atheism is this by definition, what the fuck does that even mean? There is no default definition for any of these things. There are usages. In the atheist community of Austin and American atheists, they're using atheism in a specific, very stipulative type way. And so that's how they use it. But that's not how most of the rest of the world uses it. That's not how academia uses it. And they don't want to acknowledge that there are other uses that are not theirs.
Steve. Yeah, but so Steve, remember Aron said in that blog that he disproved you with your own source.
Yeah, well, that was the problem with the. Okay,
McCobb said that they sent you a DM, Steve, that it was important. Okay.
That's the problem with the blog. What he actually said in the blog, most of it doesn't necessarily apply. There's a lot of hyperbole in that blog and a whole lot of not substance in that blog.
The blog is nothing but a polemic.
Well, I agree. I agree with Chris. There's absolutely, like, the blog is... There are very little points.
And it's falling flat because
I have a question.
He's appealing to politics, not
I read through it. I had two problems with it. One, it read like a 12th grader wrote it, and two, was it just me or did he not? I will fight Aron. He is terrifying, and I will fight him. But what did he say about what his claim was? Because a whole lot of it was shitting on other people, and a whole lot of not stating what he thought was the case.
What he did?
Was that just me?
He kept his position completely vague.
What did he disprove me on? Because his own source disproved him. And again, there was real-time logisticians, experts in these topics, reading our exchanges on Facebook, laughing hysterically. And everyone that messaged me was just like, holy fuck, Aron needs to go back to school and learn some basic logic. Even Ozzy publicly even said this. So he even said, Aron needs to go to college, get a basic understanding of logic, because he thought it was entirely cringeworthy. When Ozzy's telling you you're full of shit when it comes to logic, you need to step back and go, maybe I need to listen a little bit more. But Aron doesn't want to. He thinks he's an expert on all topics, I guess. And he thinks that he disproved me, yet everyone that I know that knows this topic has the 180-degree opposite viewpoint of that. And I tell you what, people say, well, Steve always, does appeal to authorities. Well, you're goddamn right. That's called a citation. If Landon tells me something in math, I'm going to go, hey, Landon says this is the case. It more likely is the case to be true. It doesn't mean it absolutely
Okay,
is
if Landon tells me
something about math, it is a
I'm
citation.
taking his word.
Yeah, that's
no,
not
I
a fallacy.
I will take Landon.
A fallacy
I will
would-
take Landon as an authority. I
Yeah,
don't give
well,
a shit.
yeah, no shit,
If he
right?
tells me my art is wrong, I will take him on his word.
If
I
but
quit.
Aron, if I said
Your drawing is mathematically incorrect.
If I said
That's
this-
fine. I'll take it.
the ratio's off the scale. If I said this is true because Aron, if this is true because Landon says so, that is a fallacy. If I say it is more likely the case based upon the fact Landon has a track record of being correct and knowing his material, therefore it's more likely than, for example, other than if I said, hey, Chris told me this about math and Landon told me about math. No disrespect to Chris, but I'm probably going to go with what Landon says because he has more of an expertise in it.
Smart idea.
And I've seen what Chris knows about math.
I suck ass at math.
Right.
So,
but I tell you what, if it's about,
And it's the same thing.
real quick, if it's about
Same thing with Aaron. Sorry.
We're getting a little lag. I was just going to say, if it's like historicity versus mythicism, I'm probably going to take Chris's opinion more than Landon's, right? Because that's an area that I know he's
Yeah,
researched.
I'll take Aaron's opinion on zoology any day because he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, but
he
that's
knows a lot more about zoology than I do.
yeah. I'll take him on his phylogeny, sure, absolutely, and debunking of creationism. He does a brilliant job.
well, yeah, I'll take
Yes,
I'll take Aron on zoology and biology and debunking creationism just up until he decided to do that Noah's Ark series.
I haven't watched it.
And then he completely butchered archaeology and anthropology.
Hey, at least he didn't lose the Hovind like GE did.
So I have a question.
Okay, real quick. Let me do the super chat. Atlantis Moore said $5. An old man named Aron gave no citations. He claimed a lot, but he was vague with very little verification. And that's the key thing. Look at it. If anybody goes to read this and anybody ever confronts Aron or anybody talks about this, please note he has not brought anything to the table academic wise. I'm sorry, but a dictionary. Try pulling that shit in college, Aron. That I'm going to cite a dictionary over.
Where can it be read at?
Hold on. I remember back on the other show where Aron's been on with Jeranism. One of his favorite things to say, and he says it a lot: citation needed.
Yes.
Why is he a hypocrite?
I don't know, because he thinks a dictionary is a citation.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, because he didn't provide citations.
I asked for a paper, and I get shit for it, and people are like, well,
Guys, I have to go.
Okay,
My phone is dying.
Well, thank you very much for
we love you.
It was lovely having you, Sarah.
Bye, Sarah.
Have a great evening.
When I ask for citations on that, people go, well, why would you need a citation about atheism? I'm like, I'm not saying that I need a citation that there's a God or no God or anything like that. These are not ontological citations. What I'm asking for is you're making a claim of how philosophy is. That requires some academic standing. That requires some evidence from something that is peer-reviewed or in a journal or something that tells me that you're just not making shit up out of your ass that's stipulative. Because that's all he does.
Well, not with everything, but at least in this topic, it seems that way.
Well, I mean, that's what we're talking about, Dave, in this topic.
Yeah.
Clearly in this topic.
So so Steve, I have a question.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
may
fuck
have
off, David.
I may have misheard.
You guys gonna have
I'm
the
gonna be
best,
symmetrical.
you guys would probably have the best hate sex ever. You know that, right? Okay.
Oh,
but
of course.
Dave's like,
so,
yeah.
So I thought I heard you say several
Naturally.
times talking about Aron's real name, and yet I also thought that
Aron's
actually
real name is Aron.
changed his name.
Yeah.
So I was,
he legally changed it to Aron Ra.
That is his real name. Yeah, his
that's what I thought it was.
No, his dead name or birth name is I know what it is, but it's Nelson. I mean, it's public domain.
It's that thing Kent Hovind keeps snarkily saying. Yeah.
Kent Hovind, you mean 0625?
But no, it's basically look. Why are we bad-mouthing Aron Ra? I'm not. I have not said anything about Aron personally. I like Aron. I think he's done a wonderful job.
All right,
but
I like him too.
But here's the thing: as a community, when people make these kind of educational faux pas, why is it as a community people are not holding his feet to the fire?
Right, exactly.
Because he's a popular atheist, and that's tribalism.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Why isn't he holding?
Because he doesn't let them.
Why isn't he
Because
holding his
you
own?
are
Okay,
every,
that's
okay.
true. He blocks people that. Yeah.
He doesn't let them. So like I like Aron. Half the people in here like Aron.
Yes.
Steve likes Aron. He doesn't let them challenge him at this point. Like, there might have been a time where he did, but currently he is blocking those people and does not let them challenge him. And that doesn't mean that he's necessarily even wrong. It just means that he's creating himself an echo chamber because he's so used to people saying he's so good at phylogeny.
Right.
Well, to be
He's
fair,
so
I'm
good
very,
that he's outside of his comfort zone.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
in his last debate.
If we're going to be a community of people that care, if we're going to be a community of people that care about the facts, if we're going to be a community of people that care about being correct and correcting errors where they arise, then we have to hold even the people that are our own, so to speak, even if we have respect for them when they make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Like we have to have that high quality standard. Like,
No,
if we don't, then it's all hypocrisy on everybody's part.
If this was like a jury and a judge and stuff like that, and I came to the courts prepared, and Aron came what he had, he would be laughed out of the courtroom.
well, to be fair, I've got very mixed feelings on Aron. I have for a long time because for the longest time I followed him. He was one of the first people I subscribed to when he was dealing with just his strict out Christianity stuff. But then when he went on to the whole feminist kick for a couple months,
yeah.
I dropped him like a sack of bricks.
So did Matt Dillahunty.
But it depends on what aspect of Aron you're actually looking at. You know, there's some things that he does that's really brilliant. Other things that he looks at are just really, really dumb.
Yeah.
So I've got mixed feelings on Aron. You know, I respect him for what he's good at.
Yeah. No, I'm going to say both of you.
That's literally everybody though. To some extent, everybody has things that they're good at and they're bad at. And I don't think that's
smart people know what the hell to stay away from. There's topics.
Yeah, that's fair.
Look at if somebody comes and say, "Hey, Steve, I want to talk to you about Josephus of Tacitus and the historicity," I'd be like, "Dude, you're talking to the wrong motherfucker, man. There's no goddamn way I'm having that discussion."
Can I ask something here?
You still have to do. Are you free of your no shirt stream now after that?
No, I'm getting naked in front of you guys one of these days. Trust me.
Let me ask this though. Okay,
I'm in good shape, dude. I ain't in bad shape. I ain't no red rhetoric, but I'm not ashamed of what I got, bitch. I'm sorry, John. I'm talking about me for a second. Can we do that?
Yeah, let's talk about Steve.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, John.
No, I want to point out is that with Aron, isn't he in the things that he is quite expert in? Isn't he self-taught for the most part?
He has college.
I know he went to college, but I mean, he didn't go to college long enough to.
Yeah, no, he's just autodidactic in this particular field of philosophy.
Right. So, given that, I don't understand why he's so obstinate about these issues that we're talking about tonight. I mean, why wouldn't he want to? Like, you talk about holding his feet to the fire. Why isn't he holding his own feet to the fire?
Because he believes he's actually right. And like, for example, he described me as a self-proclaimed philosopher. I don't think I've ever called myself a philosopher.
No, I have never once in my entire time knowing you ever heard you say that. I've actually heard you say that you are not a philosopher.
Right.
And that
or you're a
and
student.
I have heard you also say that
I'm a student of philosophy.
should always double check you. So
yeah, no, I'm happy being a student of philosophy. That means I enjoy the topic and I like reading about it and learning about it. But I've never self-promoted myself as a philosopher ever. So that was a little passive aggressive nonsense. But see, again, Aron doesn't check his facts. He's not a fact checker on this stuff at all.
Well, no, that part doesn't even have to do with facts. The reason that he does that and he says you're a self-proclaimed philosopher is then so it's basically an image control thing.
Sure.
An ad hoc.
Because by doing that, he's able to manipulate your image within his community.
Where they get the self-proclaimed philosopher from, though. I don't know if it's on your Twitter page or one of your pages. It says philosophy.
That means I like it. Doesn't mean a philosopher.
Right. Exactly. That's not saying I'm a philosopher.
No, that means I like talking about those topics.
Philosophy.
Well, I mean, somebody's going to try to aim.
Chris?
Somebody's going to try to aim at the Ask a Philosopher videos, though.
But I have Nick there. Nick is a philosopher.
I know. I understand that.
Chris,
I wanted you to address it in advance.
Cheshire might be moving her eyes from sweet to you. by the way. She thinks you're hot.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I gotta admit, you're giving Sweet some competition there, man. Giggity.
Well, you got the nice arm sleeve stuff going on.
Honestly,
Look at that.
Chesh, we want to do this 3 ways. I'm
3, 4,
down.
5, 8, whatever. Fuck yeah.
Just don't ask for accuracy.
Human beings are naturally promiscuous.
And don't forget what Red suggested earlier about the kitty pulling the pudding.
Well, Red isn't here right now, so.
I'm telling you, the whipped cream's a better idea.
The whipped cream was my idea.
Yeah, that's why I like it. It's a good idea.
That's why it's a good idea.
What can go wrong there? Hi, Ion. You've been very quiet, by the way. You want to weigh in real quick, buddy?
Oh yeah, I'm just here listening, hanging out.
You're just lurking. Do you want to talk about Chris's corset?
I think Chris looks amazing.
Like I said, I have the most goddamn
sexy corset, right?
I don't get it. Everybody's like so anti-SJ with me and shit like that, and they say all this big weird shit about me, and yet I have probably the most diversified group that I can get. And I don't know why they would think that I give a shit about anything like that.
Yeah, I don't get that either. Like, I have long identified myself as a feminist and as an SJW.
Yep.
I don't have a fucking problem with you, Steve.
Yeah, and so Britney Spears is. Britney Spears, goddamn, Britney Simon is a feminist too. We get along fantastic. You know.
Yeah.
Britney Spears.
Yeah, her too. Yeah, I don't understand these types of narratives that people run.
Actually, Britney Spears was a fembot. If Austin Powers is to be believed, I'm just pointing that out.
The only difference is some people can have a conversation that might be a little uncomfortable, and some people can't.
Right. I mean, Chris and I may not agree on certain things, but I guarantee it, we'd probably have a more lively and interesting discussion over drinks than anybody from their side, like the Goddess Iowan in that group, who's just all their talking points is, let's call people like racists, bigots, white nationalists. I had one of them was a Goddess Crane, was like, well, Steve was giving a heart symbol to a white nationalist. I'm like, yeah, I was telling a white nationalist I loved him for being a white nationalist. You dumb motherfucker. Like that's gonna fly. Anybody who watches that video can see clearly that had nothing to do with anything. I'm very much anti white nationalism. I'm anti-separation.
The last thing that you and Chris would be disagreeing with or disagreeing about is whether or not they're allowed to look sexy in a corset, right? Like,
yeah, why would I give a fuck?
You're just gonna exactly. It's like you're going to disagree about some philosophical point or some science point or something interesting to disagree about, not some social politics thing.
I might tell him, because I worked at Kohl's, I sold a lot of clothes. I might give him some pointers or something. I say, you might want to change the color a little bit.
You might want to save some cash, right?
But that's just me, being back in my sales days.
Honestly, I think the only thing that Steve and I would disagree on is going to be epistemology, and that's just because I more identify as a Pyrrhonian skeptic.
Yeah, he's more into the skepticism than I am.
Yeah.
Right, but that has nothing to do with how you get along otherwise.
You have to forgive my ignorance. What is a Pyrrhonian skeptic? I have absolutely no idea.
So there are several different degrees at which people can be skeptical of knowledge. A Pyrrhonian skeptic is basically and how we gain knowledge. So an academic skeptic is one who says we cannot get knowledge at all.
Yep.
They're basically a knowledge atheist, as it were. A Pyrrhonian skeptic says that we don't know if we can, that we are unsure if knowledge is possible to attain.
Right. They're so skeptical. The academic skeptic would say that knowledge is unattainable because there's just problems with like Gettier theories with the JDP and all that other stuff. And so they think that knowledge is not possible. The Pyrrhonian skeptic says, look, we're so much of a skeptic that we don't even know if it's possible to even have knowledge or to be justified to even say that there is no knowledge.
So the way we decided then to treat the world around us and the way to treat knowledge, as it were, is basically to just accept things as they appear.
But isn't that just observational?
Isn't that just empiricism?
Yeah, but
it's not really.
I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm asking, isn't that just empiricism? Or
no, there's rationality involved too. I mean, it's not just all empiricism. There's
Because
rationality.
I would not say that I'm a strict empiricist.
But the problem is this, when you look at a proposition, and the Peronian skeptic or even the academic skeptic would say, I could say that I believe P, but you can never be justified to say I know P.
Right. I believe that there's a world. I believe that there are other people, but I will say that I am unable to know this for a fact.
Yeah, and I find that I believe that knowledge is possible, but to justify that requires a hell of a lot of background in epistemology.
Well, but what are the repercussions of if you say
Not
that
a goddamn thing.
You can't even know
Nothing.
if you know anything?
It's just
Nothing. There's literally nothing. It basically the only thing it changes.
No, because saying that knowledge is possible and then saying that knowledge is within our grasp are two different things.
Well, I'm just going to say I just needed to know the definition. I had no idea what it was. I didn't mean to start an argument. I absolutely did not know.
There's no argument there. It's kind of like looking
totally
this way.
with you, Sean.
If relativity is actually the way the universe is, or if it just models the universe such that the actual base level of the universe we can never have access to and know what it is, does it really change anything either way? No. To us, it doesn't matter, right? So if somebody says I'm a scientific realist, somebody says I'm a scientific anti-realist, there's just positions. It's just all it is. Whether you're one or the other, it's just how you view things. It doesn't have any big change in the grand scheme of things. That's one of the things about philosophy. People can have different perspectives, but there are certain things that are material facts. Aron doesn't have the material facts right. He doesn't have the logical understanding correct. He was trying to convince people that I was doing a double negation when I say I do not believe that P is false. So not B, not P. He sees two negation symbols and he goes, oh, look, there's two negations in there. That's a double negative. No, a double negative is not P, which is just P, right? That's the Matt Slick part. If you guys remember tag argument, he does something like that. P or not P, not P, therefore P, which boils down to P, therefore P, which is logically valid, but trivial.
By the way, I got to learn something on a Rum and Coke night. I'm happy.
By the way, that brownie I think is actually really starting to taste really good. If you guys don't know what I mean.
I thought it was a Rice Krispie treat.
Yeah, oh, sorry, Rice Krispie treat. That's what it was. Yeah, it was a Rice Krispie.
Is it dark?
It must be
really good.
It's really good. I don't know what I had.
Yeah, man. I think Puffaluffagus would be proud.
Yeah.
Are you getting all rice and crispy, Steve?
I'm getting a little rice and crispy. Yeah.
Ooh. Well said.
Yeah. How long has it been?
Are you feeling a little sticky?
I got that as soon as you came in the room.
Giggity.
Well, I've with all this nice discussion. With all this philosophical discussion, I've reverted back to stage one, which
Good
is
for you.
this
is the wind down part,
Chardonnay.
yeah. Because I'm starting to feel it, and I don't know what the hell happened.
And this Costa Brown 2007.
How many milligrams was that laced with, Steve?
What was laced with what? Allegedly?
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah,
Allegedly.
it's not in my. What the fuck do I live in? Not in my county. I don't know what the hell's going on right now. Not in my county.
We're gonna take this offline, and I'm gonna PM you really soon.
Okay. I look forward to that. Yeah, we're gonna be ending this.
Puffaluffagus said he is damn proud. He says.
I love Puffaluffagus. I do.
Well,
He's in the chat.
Before we wind down too much, one thing I wanted to go on, especially going off of Aron, because he's one of the biggest problems in this, is why the fuck is it that the community, quote unquote, that's all about educating people can't be goddamned fucked enough to pick up a stinking book on the Bible by an actual scholar?
Have you ever read anything about sociology? Because there's your answer.
Yep.
Tribalism.
Muppets knows this topic.
This is why I don't get into that side of the fence, because I don't know why people have such an aversion to reading the scholarly stuff. Because, like, for example, I didn't know much about Carrier's work ages ago. And I happen to like Carrier. I was going to go visit him. We were going to go out for drinks, and he changed his plans on me. But he was appreciative of the fact that I offered to buy him dinner and stuff like that. But I had a lot of people
you'll rain check.
Yeah, rain check. But I had a lot of people telling me his style and that he was questionable in his methodology. It wasn't until after I started having long conversations with him, I understand what they mean by it now.
I warned you about.
I transcribed that conversation.
Yeah.
Remember when you
interesting.
you two went at it? I think it was actually all on like atheism and stuff not too long ago.
Yeah, on Facebook.
And then you had a whole live stream about it and invited me on, and you're like, yeah, Chris, you're right. You warned me about it.
You really did, and you're spot on. He doesn't give principle of charity at all. Theistic Luciferian, you should get Styx Hexenhammer on, please. I would like to get Styx Hexenhammer on. I've never talked to the guy. I don't know who he is.
I've never even heard of the guy. Who is he?
Oh, he's been around a long time. He's an atheist YouTuber.
Okay, I missed one apparently.
There's
a
bigger
lot
community than you think. Fart Tahino, thank you. There's a lot of people I want to have on. I'm just biding my time. I'm getting some people for July. This month we're not going to be doing that much. We're just talking and stuff like that. I got a new intro. I made a couple different versions of the intro. I had somebody do 95% of that work for me.
Just about to ask.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
Steve, you should see the other 95% I did the other day. I got a cool thing for you. I got to show you sometime.
Are you certain to 2 standard deviations though?
I'm certain to 2 standard deviations of 95%. Yes.
The probability is at least of 3.
3 standard deviations would be 97.5. And one
there's
is
95% coming up again.
I'm surprised that Edgar hasn't been around. He's disappeared.
I know. I miss Edgar.
You're
weird.
Where is my majestic
Chris?
friend?
Chris is the fucking Edgar Whisperer, man.
Chris, you are one strange motherfucker. Now watch all these people go. Steve's calling him a strange motherfucker because he's wearing lipstick and a corset. No, that's not why I'm calling him strange. Well, a little bit, but he actually can translate Mr. ID, and for some reason he seems to enjoy that. How is that not fucking strange?
I have done my time with that gentleman.
Yeah, don't do it, dude. You I know you can afford to kill some more brain cells, Land. You got plenty to spare, but please.
I went there and came back.
We never have managed to get that promised debate set up between Edgar and Reds yet.
I know that never happened.
We still need to make that happen.
Why would we do this?
Has to happen.
Because
was that with Reds or Red Eye?
I want to watch.
Yeah, it was Red Eye. Red Eye read his books. He hasn't been the same ever since.
Yeah, he still bleeds out of one ear occasionally.
Red Eye was while I was reading it was quoting me some of the stuff in this book, and it is Edgar at his finest.
Yes, I'm sure.
Jesus.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. Any of you guys want to leave with the last parting words? Promote your channels.
Yeah, I'd like to say something. First of all, Sweet Heathen, love you. Next week. On the GDC, there's going to be a Saturday afternoon stream at 2:00 because the feature channel is a young lady from England named Topic Thunder.
I love her.
Steve knows her really well.
Damn right, love her.
I'd love it if you're available, Sweet Heathen. I'd love it if you'd be there if you know Topic Thunder. I mean, even if you don't.
I do, and just shoot me a message and remind me of the time.
I will do that. I've got you on Twitter, so
awesome.
That's all I got.
John's doing the he's running some hangouts on the Great Debate community. Which again, when I get these computers set up, I'm really thinking about doing 24-hour streaming to that channel through because I have the computer here. It does overheat, but I've got a fan on it. But by the way, I took a video on my Facebook. If you guys go to my Facebook page, I actually showed the computer system I'm using, my little studio, and you can actually see a fan cooling my computer system. But I want to think that I could use that one for a 24-hour stream to the GDC and let people kind of do their thing, or at least like once a day or something. Because I want to get that channel back active. But anyways, what do we got for the Slippery Slope show?
Oh well, we got we're working on it. It's animation and it's hard. Actually, we just got some new software updates that's going to make some of the animation easier, so that's cool.
Looking forward to it.
We're working at it. It's coming. It's art. Don't rush the art.
All right, Sean, what's going on there in the flat Earth communities?
Not much. I've been too busy doing real life stuff to actually deal with much of anything, and saw you were on. It's like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while.
So we're still I guess going for Anthony Riley.
Oh, good Lord, yes.
Okay, I'm down with that. Yeah. All right, sweet. You got anything?
Oh no, I can show myself, I guess. Just if you're looking for fine art or any other kind of design, sweetheathen.com. You want portraits of animals, people, anything? I will paint it for you.
Well, there you go.
What's your medium?
Do you do
I'm just
acrylics?
curious.
I do acrylic and oil. I'm doing primarily acrylic right now because that's what's in demand, but I do both mediums.
So what somebody could actually do is if they wanted to commission Chesh to do a picture on the computer, you can actually make it into a painting using acrylics, and that way they can get.
I'm sure that somebody will commission a painting of Chesh.
Design as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that somebody will probably commission a painting of Chesh naked painting.
I was actually going to say I'm really going to commission.
I may or may not already have those already in the works.
Oh, okay. So you already have the naked Inception thing happening.
I will donate to that fund.
That sounds like some MC Escher kind of stuff.
Yeah, right there.
I love Escher.
Escher's my favorite artist.
Escher is probably my second favorite. I like Dolly. Dolly is my favorite. I can't give up Dolly.
Escher's my favorite. My second favorite is H.R. Giger.
How much do you charge?
Nice. It really depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm on your site now. How much does it charge?
Sean wants a self-portrait.
Sean would want a self-portrait. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'll set it up as my channel art.
Lion, you got anything? Ian?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you keep talking about Chris's corset over there. I think he's got the hair going on.
Yeah, I think you got a thing for him, don't you? No.
I appreciate a fancy setup.
Oh, you know what? I gotta admit, I appreciate the work Chris takes the time to do all that. I'm sure it's not easy.
It's like 20 minutes.
Whatever. I'm giving you more motherfucking credit than you do. Then shut up. All right. Look at him. It's like
take the compliment.
I'm so naturally good looking that I could spend 20 minutes. I have to do an hour of fucking work. Okay, on me.
It takes you an hour to look that bad?
Yes.
Damn, John.
Since I got my hair done,
you look like a horse.
Since I got my hair done, it'll take that long.
You're not even on camera. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, but that's because of the way I had to do this now. I wasn't on camera earlier. All right. Last but not least, we're gonna leave it with Muppets. Do you have anything to add? Even though you're with that other group, so whatever they said.
Well, I mean, not much to add. I'm Muppets. I'm the third person in the Slippery Show. I was told to come in because I need to show my face. I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Continue.
Welcome to the show.
Last but not least.
What about? Yeah. Okay.
I know what I'm doing here. I've done this before, John.
I thought you forgot.
Listen, my little Padawan thinks he's the master.
Of course, Landon's going to do the fancy sign off.
John thinks he's the master moderator now. Okay.
Spoilers.
But Landon, what do you got? I know you're leaving us for
I would like to have people suggest you follow the Twitter account called Astronomy Travel. Astronomy Travel is where I'm going to be tweeting. We're going to an expedition to Pitcairn Island. This is the island where the descendants of the mutineers of the Bounty are living. It's an island nation now, about 39 people, depending on who's on the island and where they're going. We're going there for a total solar eclipse expedition, and then we're going to go back through the French nuclear testing site and then back to French Polynesia for sailing in the southern hemisphere, looking at the glorious southern stars and enjoying ourselves. We hope we hope for 3 minutes and 2 seconds to totality. That'll push me up to 50 minutes of lifetime totality for.
That's a lot of totality.
Yeah. So sticking myself where the sun don't shine. That's effectively what we're doing.
That's what he does.
You seem to be very skilled at that.
He sticks himself where the sun don't shine.
That's awesome.
The main thing is, the experiment now is again to look for asteroids orbiting very close to the sun. So while the moon is blocking the sun, we're going to be imaging either side in the solar plane to look for asteroids inside, called volcanoid asteroids. Asteroids orbited inside Mercury's orbit. We haven't found any, but we hope to keep looking and see what's happened. So follow me on Astronomy Travel and Twitter, and I promise to. But understand, by the way,
they have to because YouTube blocked you.
Yeah, well, that's the case. But also understand that that's going to be a write-only medium. When I'm there with satellite phones, we can only to post short text to it. So send your replies because I'll pick them up eventually. But again, Astronomy Travel.
We will be checking that out and getting updates for you. So I want to thank everybody. I'm going to put my Patreon in the live chat because that's pretty much what I'm going to be using for everything now. I appreciate that people have been so supportive. I mean, $1, $2 here, $5 there. It does add up, and I can communicate with all my Patreons in one full swoop, and I like that a lot. So if you want to become a Patreon, please think about that, because that I'd rather have than like super chats, because that way I know I have income, and I can communicate with them a lot faster, and I get all them links and stuff like that. Also, follow me on Twitter. That's another way I communicate. I think that messaging me as a DM on Twitter is probably the best way to reach me. Facebook, not that great, but I do use it, but I miss a lot of messages on Facebook. But if you go to my Facebook right now, I have 2 videos of me opening all that computer stuff, and I was very giddy. It was like Christmas morning, and I have it all set up. I'm putting some programs on it, and it's going to easily be able to dual stream. So if you guys want to check out a badass rig, go check out those videos on my Facebook. But I can only get like 50 more friends, so if you're going to befriend me on Facebook, that's fine, but I'm up to my 5,000 limit. So, all right, thank you guys for watching this Rum and Coke night. This was like way different than I expected because of the topics that we discussed. But these are always fun. We're going to be doing tomorrow. We have an admin for the Atheist Experience, actually, Facebook group coming in. And they're going to be talking about these things with Aron and agnosticism, because they agree with us. I'm at Ozzy on, I'm at Stephen Hoyt on, and maybe a few other people. But the admin said to me a while back, they said, I really do agree with you, Steve. I've looked into this stuff, and you are right. I don't like the way you approach these things, because you're kind of hostile to the members of ACA. And I said, well, I'm not really hostile to them. They're just idiots. They didn't like that, but it's kind of the truth. A lot of them are. But I said, well, you think you could do a better job, you go explain it to them. And they did. They actually went into there, and they had 2 posts explaining to them why Steve was right, and in great detail. They got some flack for it, but we're making progress. So,
look, I wouldn't say they're all idiots, but they've certainly bought into a narrative.
A lot of them are idiots. Not all of them. I mean, give me a little hyperbole, right? I do have hyperbole. I do have need a little principle of charities. People say, well, Steve said all. Yeah, people know that I'm not going to be such a pendant that I use the word all as often. Anyways, Christiana Santiago is in the live chat. I want to put a shout out to her. Love her.
Thank you.
She's
Hi,
amazing.
Christy.
And we give her a heart.
Christy.
Right. And with that, we will bid you good night. Good night, all.